incredible man. I only do things incredible can. Cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do. When you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
You catch me, dog.
That's all it matters.
Good morning, Saturday Sports Talk, Camp presented Kings Mountain. The sponsor, as always, Kevin Hastings here, along with Terry Reinhardt, Carson Dockery, and Hunter Yancey. It's Week 1 NFL action, and Terry's got his NC State gear on. I don't know what's going on there. He's so scared of the Panthers, he's not wearing nothing with his Cowboy stuff on today. He even got a hat on today. I don't know what happened to that.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
What's going on,
This is
Terry?
a Saturday morning.
You're
Number one,
you're having trouble.
we are still in the
Who are they
title
playing
hunt.
today, Terry?
The title hunt
Who are
for
they
the
playing?
national
Who are they
championship.
playing today?
What?
Georgia State.
Oh,
Did Terry?
We should go to 2-0.
are they
and still in
playing? Are they playing at Turner Field?
Hold on, people.
I think
Listen.
Terry rolled out of bed this morning. Karen
Listen.
Mitchell woke him up with a biscuit, brought him to Terry.
Michigan has, for all y'all Michigan fans, you have no chance at a title. For all y'all Florida State fans, you have no chance at a title.
Oh yeah.
For all y'all Tar Heel fans, you have no chance at a title.
you're
Did they ever?
Which sport?
And
I bet say which sport?
Let's back up that truck here, Terry.
we are talking about
Which
college
sport?
football.
Which sport?
We talk
Their coach can't even remember when they got beat by ECU and let the Pirates drop 70 on them.
Who's that?
Fedora, did you
I
not
know
see
who
that the
does
other
have
day?
a shot at a national title, Terry.
If they get beat
They
by
do.
ECU this year
Again.
They do.
again, Fedora probably, in my opinion, should be fired on the field.
He should have already.
Did y'all?
On the
Speaking
field.
of that,
Don't even let him get off the field.
let me mention one thing about that game. Did y'all watch that game?
Which game?
Carolina and California.
No, I did not.
They
Why?
had 10 possessions.
I'm protesting until Chaz gets back on the field.
Carolina. Now check this out. I've never seen it. I mean,
Watch
it's the
this
first time
trash.
I'd ever seen it. But they had 10 possessions in the first half. 9 of them were 3 and outs. The other one ended the half off of the first play.
Consistency, Terry. That's all you can ask for from your offense. I mean, I don't understand what the problem is. Don't come here trashing other teams,
I'm
Mr.
not
State.
trashing
Y'all ain't
them.
won anything
I'm
ever in
just
the history of
saying-
the
I'll
world.
trash him.
All right,
Hey,
dude.
look.
Don't
But
say
they
nothing
still-
either.
Look, the ones that can trash them, are the fans. We see it. We're like, look, if you're not a jaded Carolina fan and you actually kind of, have a right sense of mind, you can say, yeah, they're awful. I didn't even watch that game. I didn't because I knew it was going to be really a blowout. I knew
So
I
when's
was
the
gonna
last
win this
time they
game.
won like a
season opener?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been
Yeah.
a few years.
Yeah.
It's been a few
Especially
years.
when they go out of conference. play.
What, this is like the second or third time we've lost a cow.
Well, I'm going to be
Yeah.
honest. I was not. And you have to understand, Carolina had 13 penalties, 4 turnovers, and they still had an opportunity to win the game at the end.
Well, when they brought in Larry Fedora, what was the thing that
Good coaching, I guess.
that you knew you were going to have?
Get
You were
off
going to have a
this.
good offense. You might not have a good defense, and
Get
now
off of it.
what's he doing?
But anyway, Hunter's acting weird over here. What a surprise. Good morning, Hunter. How was your biscuit?
It was good.
What'd you have?
Egg and cheese.
Carson Dockery, how was breakfast?
Good, man. Liver mush, egg, and cheese on a bun, and it's. I pulled a Hunter. It's already gone.
Terry.
Hey, if it's good, it's good.
Sausage, egg, and cheese.
Sausage, egg, and cheese.
And it's gone.
I got an egg and cheese biscuit still waiting on me. JP, how you doing in there this morning, buddy?
Doing good. First off, I gotta say, Hunter, what do you mean by we don't have any cows? I'm still trying to get that phrase.
What?
You said something about cows.
What are you talking about?
JP,
are you not? Are you sure you weren't just
And y'all
asleep
think
right
I'm
now?
off the wall.
I don't think you.
I know
No,
nothing
it's probably
about
something about
sports,
cow.
okay?
Nobody up here was
I
talking
just
about cows, I don't
That's
think.
it.
He said Cal.
Cow, like
Cow,
California.
Oh,
There you go.
C-A-L.
Not
cow.
not a cow that moos. No, not quite.
But no, I've
Well,
got
I will.
sausage and cheese on a biscuit.
So no cow for you.
I'm glad
Either way.
It's sausage. You don't know what it is. You don't want to know what it is.
Really, I will give you some facts that happened this week. Speaking of cows, we was in the at the school. I'm telling
And
you,
West
no,
Lincoln.
This
Oh, yeah,
and
West
This
Lincoln.
happened.
Okay, all right.
This happened.
Tractor
And
parking.
West Lincoln.
No, that's right. I go into my room and I'm sitting at
And
my
there's a
desk, and getting everything up. Well, I hear a cow. I do. And I'm like, my goodness, one of these kids have found one of these horns that sounds like a cow. That's the
Somebody's
first thing
got
I'm
one of
thinking.
those turnover little cow in a can.
Next thing I know, I hear it again, and a cow's looking in my window.
That's the most Wesley.
It was the greatest thing ever, man. And
He's
we-
looking for his daddy. What are you talking about?
Oh my God.
It was fantastic,
Oh,
and all the
my
kids
God.
were outside taking pictures of him, and we finally got him back to where he's supposed to go. But hey,
Isn't that
when
a-
you're at West Lincoln, that's exactly
That's a class
what-
at West Lincoln, isn't it? Hurting, probably.
Hey, we did well with him.
There are
That's
a lot
what
of
I'm saying,
there,
man.
there are a lot of schools actually around here that have agriculture departments.
Yeah,
They
Mandy's.
do y'all don't have one, do you? I know-
We got where we do flowers and all.
so that wasn't one of y'all's
So it's
cows.
not-
Just
No,
make
y'all
that
have one of
clear. That
ours.
was a strange cow.
Yeah.
It's a stranger.
My high school's got we.
Wait a minute. Was that a joke from Bandy's then?
Maybe.
So
I
was
don't
that
know.
a warning shot across the South Fork 2A? We'll drop a cow off at Terry Reinhardt's door.
Oh.
Next time Terry picks Bandy's West Lincoln over Bandy's, you get a cow in the face, Terry.
Look, it wasn't. It's not uncommon for us to walk outside, and because we had like a little farm, and we would hold. We did back behind our ag department. We had a farm back there, and we would hold cows. Local farmers would like lend
Yep.
them to us for the classes.
Is this not the greatest thing? Good morning
Birds
for
and
sports
Crest
talk.
Birds and Crest both have a
We have
farm
Ag
depart-
Day in high school. We
Agriculture
have
departments.
Agriculture Day, where all the like the elementary school kids, they all get, it's like a field trip for them. They come to Bandy's High School in the area, and they go out there and they play with all the cows, and the farmers bring little chicks there. They bring other, livestock there for the kids to look at, and they bring all their tractors there as well for just to show off for the kids. And that was actually like a big deal at our high school because we would get class off to go outside and just hang out. So my senior year, we had
This is way before iPads. and,
yeah, way before iPad. That was a bit. My senior year, we
We'll spend
went out
cows.
there. My senior year, we went out there and we hung out for a little while. But then my buddy was like, "Hey, dude, I got my cornhole boards in the back of
Oh,
my
my
truck."
God.
So we just went and played cornhole
This
outside.
is the most Bandy's thing I've ever.
Let me tell you something. You just wish you got out of class, okay?
I mean,
So let's see. Talking about real quick, and circling back around to
Cows.
North Carolina and the Surratt and the suspensions. Did y'all see the ridiculous suspension this week of the Kentucky Wildcats?
oh yeah, the
soccer team.
for
Did you
playing
see that, Terry?
pickup soccer. For
So,
playing pickup soccer. with a
I know
band.
Hunter and Carson know who I'm talking about. Terry, do you know who the Foo Fighters are?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
No, oh, that's
Foo Fighters is a rock band. A couple of them used to be in Nirvana. You ever heard of Nirvana?
Yeah, I have heard
One
of
of them
Nirvana.
were really.
Dave Grohl was a drummer. Yeah.
So anyway, one of the guys from Nirvana. How about that? And again, his new band, which isn't new for 25 years. So, him and the Foo Fighters wanted to play a little soccer game with some of the Kentucky folks over there, and they didn't have enough players. They wanted more players to make it more competitive or whatever. So they asked some of the soccer players, Kentucky, whatever, to join them there on the field. They were playing a concert there at the field. Okay, so that's why they didn't just go to Kentucky and break rules.
Well, maybe.
they
I mean,
kind of
hey,
did, but
Calipari's been doing it for.
yeah, there you go. That's funny. Calipari gets away with whatever. The soccer kids get suspended.
Yeah.
So anyway, Terry, apparently because there was a coach there involved in the practice, or practice is what they called it because a coach was there instead of just a pickup game with the Foo Fighters, they are suspending for some of the kids 2 games for a what is it? A
pickup game.
A unlawful practice,
Yeah.
however they want to put that. But 2 games. So Chaz sold a pair of shoes. These kids played soccer with the Foo Fighters. Meanwhile, we've got other colleges doing various
Much worse,
other
much
things
worse,
that are
Having
much
entire
worse.
fake departments.
We got fake departments. What about Michigan
Hey,
State?
whoa, yeah, Michigan
How about
State.
Michigan
yeah.
State, Baylor, things like this at other schools, and the Louisville situation. We got the paying the kids under the table when you could just pay them up front if you wanted to. Did a little math this week during the week. North Carolina's got a $3.9 billion endowment with a B. Give you some fun stats on that. If they didn't make another dollar, they just said today, all schools free, nobody pays us anything. We don't want to sell it. Every shirt we have it. We don't want any money for it. Not make another dollar, Terry. There's 100 players on the roster. for the next 100 years, 100 years, they could play every player on the roster $390,000 a year. If North Carolina didn't make another dime counting this second, they could play every player every year on the roster 1 through 100, $390,000.
University of North Carolina, I'm hurting over here, man. If you could just lend me $1. I mean,
Hey, big man, let me
hey,
hold
big
$1.
man, let me hold $1.
So public education, and that's an example. The highest paid employee in almost every 48 of the 50 states is either the football or basketball coach of the state university. Okay. So, looking at some of those numbers, the student, I think I saw a number where it said students have went up about 20% in the past 25 years. Teachers have went up about 70%, and administrators have went up about 700%. So you start looking at where a lot of that money is going. Florida has multi-million-dollar facilities. They paid a IMG to go practice there for a week. A lot of things that they need to get settled. I'm sure in the next few years we're going to see some lawsuits on some of this, but just a weird situation there in college sports. Now, JP, it is. I was about to say it's either time for a break or time for Coach Pruitt to call. And last night, Cherville Ironman with a win on the road, Terry, big win, proved to 3-1 for the Ironman. And Coach Pruitt, what is the new haircut? What's the 3-1 haircut look like?
Got a half guard Thursday afternoon. Took it all off. If I could have kept that mohawk one more time, it was actually going to look pretty mohawky. He said, "You sure you won't cut this?" I said, "Yeah, we're going to cut it off."
Okay. Well, good.
I'm ready for the hot weather. I'm hoping it'll become the fall at some point this year. It's going to go from hot to cold, I guess, this year. But we didn't cramp as much last night, so that was good. We're getting in a little bit better shape. Injury-wise, other than one kid taking a Hamilton knee, come out pretty healthy. I think we're ready for our open week and getting ready for a conference season.
Well, Coach, 46-38 victory there. You got a little close there. You got a bye coming up this week. So you got 2 weeks to prepare for conference season. And, starting off, a pretty tough game it looks like coming up. You guys got at Thomas Jefferson, right? And you'll start off with the Griffons there in conference play.
Yeah, we got Thomas Jefferson first, which we've been opening up with them. It seems like the last several years. Last time with Thomas Jefferson was a win, so we want to get back on the horse with that. And, I think our mindset is good right now. Last night we played really well at times. I think offensively we did some things better in protecting the quarterback. The one time we didn't protect the quarterback, we threw an interception. And all it was a simple play fake, and we didn't get that done. And a 1-2 protection, which we work on all the time. So things we can correct. We didn't fumble the ball last night, so that's another step in the right direction. We had fumbles in every single game. We didn't have a drop snap last night. We've had drop snaps in every single game. The thing that discouraged us last night, I think, as a staff, was just getting off the field on 3rd and 4th down against a team that spread us out. Started the ball around a little bit. We just, we changed our defense a little bit. We went back to a 3-4 look. Thomas Jefferson see that on film, but we tried to put some people in places, and we also, go through a Labor Day holiday and had a few people that missed practice. This year, our leadership council, a group of students, they set a rule: if you miss a practice, you miss a quarter. So we were playing with a bunch of guys going both ways because of the depth that we have at running back. With Jaden going out in the second half, Bruce Gunner stepped in and had 6 carries for 59 yards. But we played well at times, and then we also didn't play well at times. We had over 300 yards of offense in 30-some plays. Usually I don't have stats on a Saturday morning, but I do this morning because Florine had such a great game. And I usually don't talk about individuals, but he had 2 interceptions, 1 pass breakup, 1 return for a touchdown, two receiving touchdowns, and 5 or 6 tackles. He just played one outstanding game, and it's a team game, but when you have players like that making plays, it makes it easy to put in the subs with about 6 minutes to go. And then the next thing you know, they score a touchdown, get an onside kick. We can't stop a 2-point conversion and cover an onside kick with 1 minute to go, and it makes the score look a lot closer. But, for me as a head coach, a lot of those boys who don't get to play on Friday nights typically, they work hard through the week, and when we get in a situation where we can put them in the game and we feel like it's comfortable, we feel like we need to put them in. I don't always see that, but we do that, and it's there's a reason called sportsmanship matters.
Coach, love everything you guys doing there in Cherryville, and good luck coming up this week. Now, I know as far, like I say, we got a tough game coming up, and I know you don't care about our poll, but we do got y'all 10-11 currently in our poll, so you both guys have both started. It means what it means for us is that you both guys started off pretty good. They're 3-0. You guys are 3-1 for Thomas Jefferson, and then, like I said, you got some more games coming up, and I know you guys are getting ready, but you got a couple weeks off. I want you, while you're on here, to get a little light. How about them Mountaineers last week almost pulling it off?
Yeah, I got pumped on Wednesday, or when I got my Sports Illustrated Thursday, whatever day it was. The days, they melt together these days. But, I get my Sports Illustrated, I'm thinking, that's going to be a great article about a good college football game, and it was all about Penn State. Yeah. And I'm like, golly, if Penn State can tackle Jalen Moore with about 2 minutes to go, Appalachian would probably run the clock out and kick a field goal on the last play of the game to win the game. But they couldn't tackle Jalen Moore, so Jalen go down next time, I guess. But with that said, they played great, and I got to listen to it. I didn't get to watch it. And, Coach Satterfield and those guys up there, they do an outstanding job. And it's great to see Alma Mater play a game like that. And they're going to Charlotte today, and that's got some regional implications, and I hope we go out there and play like we did last week. If they do, they'll take care of business. So, miss the Boone area, and Landry's football season schedule matches up perfectly with Appalachian. We have 0 games that we can go to until November, so that's part of it. And it's great because he come off the field after 20-0 loss, smiling from ear to ear last week after his first tackle football game, and that's what athletics and sports all about, having fun. And I just love the fact that he's playing for the Little Ironman. Look forward to those guys playing again today at East Lincoln at 11:30.
That's what I was about to ask about the game today. You want to give us a preview of the Pop Warner game today?
I don't know. He played center last week. I think they moved him back to guard. My wife said, "Oh, they tried to make him a quarterback last night." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, help me!" But he did. He make the trip, so to speak, because he had football practice. But they had a short week with the holiday, and Labor Day is Labor Day for a reason. And they practiced last night. But we're excited about where our team is right now. We got a lot of pieces, and last night Dylan Harden really stepped up, 10 of 15 passing for over 200. We split the script last night. Normally we're 200 yards rushing and 100 yards passing. Last night we're 200 yards passing, 100 yards rushing. So I think that makes us difficult to defend, and we got lots of pieces out there to catch the ball as well. So we just are excited about the opportunity to go out there and play some conference games, and it starts with Thomas Jefferson in 2 weeks.
Well, Coach, thanks for calling that. And you mentioned that I had said that earlier in the season. I thought you guys would definitely be kind of hard to deal with that way, and you just proved that with the switch there in the yards and the Floridian kid. I guess he pitched in a little bit last night. Is that what you're saying?
And yet, say that again. I'm sorry, I lost.
Florian pitched in a little bit. He helped out a little bit last night.
Yeah, he's a very solid football player, and he's a talent on both sides of the ball and in the return game. People have tried to stop kicking him the ball for a reason, and we just, we feel good about where we are right now. I think that's the thing too. When I say team, I think our team came together this week a little bit. We really stressed that. We had some issues when we faced adversity last week against West Lincoln, and I thought our team last night we faced some adversity too as they were coming back at times, and I think we kind of pulled it together and got that lead in the second half, and then we didn't milk it, but they made plays. We got to make some plays. This first drive of the second half, we got them 4th in the world, and they throw a ball, and we had 2 kids. I think one thought the other one was going to make the play, and the other thought the other was going to make the play, and their kid made a play. So if we keep that from happening, we're probably in real good shape. But you learn from those mistakes, I hope. And next week, when we get ready to play Thomas Jefferson, it all starts with their quarterback. He's all conference for a reason. He's one of the best players in our league, and we have to do a better job of containing him than we did with Jerome last night. Their quarterback's going to be really good. He's a junior. So appreciate you guys. I'll let y'all go, and y'all have a great weekend.
All right, Coach. Have a good weekend, too, and a good week, 2 weeks of practice. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. See you.
Coach Tim Pruitt, the Cherryville Ironman, 3-1 on the season. Terry, last night, big win, 46-38. A lot of wins getting piled up in that conference early on. Just looking down at our schedule, our list of teams. Let's see. Thomas Jefferson 3-0, Cherryville 3-1. Let's see. I was trying to find my Mountain Island Charter where I put them. They're 3-1. How about? And I know Carson Hunter joined us on the show this morning. Didn't get to talk about it last night, but Highland Tech after 4 weeks is undefeated at 2-0.
I mean,
fuzzy math there for you, Hunter, but
I mean,
Go ahead, Carson.
I saw Highland last week, and I mean I talked about it a little bit.
You sounded pretty excited about it.
Well, I mean, they look like a better team.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the offensive line coach from Harding who won a state championship last year. He's running the wing T. When I was there last week, Caleb Foster went 174 yards on 7 carries. He had 3 touchdown runs of over 50 yards. I mean, granted, that's all against South Davidson, but
Right.
I mean, like you said, they're still undefeated. Highland, you know, we're never really going to expect that much out of Highland because they don't have a feeder school. They have a lot of other challenges that normal public schools just don't have. But I think Coach DeLeo, he's doing something good up there, and I mean, Highland, they could sneak in.
I think some people get them confused with an actual charter school, and that's not what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lottery school.
It's a magnet lottery school, yeah. And you sometimes don't even know if you have the same kids back the next year.
Yeah, you don't.
Stuff,
Yeah.
That's like football was. I mean, their football is really picked almost at the very end when you're getting ready to start.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to do the Terry, do the scores right now, or we'll go across the board. I'll give ours from last night. We'll each do a board. And then we'll go to break here, and then we're going to come back, finish up. We'll do our top 10, our new top 10, and then we got college football to talk about for a little bit. And then, folks, we got our NFL preview today. The second half of the show, we're talking NFL football, and we got a lot of things to talk about. Then we're going to finish up with some baseball. Them Cardinals making a run, and Bravo's still hanging in there tough. Terry, where your Royals at?
Trying to see if we're going to be the second team to 100 losses.
There you go. Well, you want as long as you're not first, like Jeff
That's
Jones'
right.
Baltimore Orioles. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes on KTCBroadcasting.com.
They've got them all. At Renato Auto Mall in Shelby, they've got Ford, Chevrolets, Buicks, Toyotas, Nissans, Hondas, Kias, GMC trucks, and more. What are we talking about? We're talking about the huge used car selection at Renato Auto Mall. Before you buy, come see Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And they are now your SUV headquarters. Over 50 to choose from, new and used, all makes, all models, and 10 to choose from, priced at under $10,000 at Renato Auto Mall. 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, WCSL Cherryville. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink jet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
Check out what the Green Meadows Golf Club on Kelly Road in Mount Holly has to offer. On Wednesday, you can play all day for $28, including cart and green fee. And ladies, Wednesday is your day too. Ladies play and ride all day for only $15. To make your tee time, call the Green Meadows Golf Club at 704-827-9264. You'll love it. The Green Meadows Golf Club, located at 957 Kelly Road in Mount Holly. Come see what they have to offer.
There's no one like you. And Pandora Jewelry is opening up all kinds of possibilities to show that to the world with the new open bangle. Beautifully crafted from sterling silver with new interchangeable end caps. You can mix, match, and even have the freedom to customize like never before. Shop the new open bangle from Pandora Jewelry now and do see the wonderful Pandora Jewelry. Available at Facet Foundry Jewelry Studios, 530 South New Hope Road, Gastonia. Online at FacetFoundryJewelry.com.
Cowboys fan, NC State Wolfpack 2. Right?
Terry, did you wax your
Every
head this
day.
morning?
I'm not,
I did this.
not going to tell the story, but but anyway, Terry narrated it. Not going to tell the story that we was talking about a second ago, but anyway, a couple of days ago had some fun, and I want to thank Trent Marty and Tom Cinefani, the Burns guys over there, for helping out with the technical aspects of some of our broadcasts this week that they really didn't have nothing to do with, and all that. And it ended up having to talk. You know, we joke around about the people that run things and things you got to do, and then you're like, well, you took an act of Congress. Well, it kind of did. So I was joking about that in the break. But all right, top 10. You ready for this, Terry? Hunter, we've kicked some people out down the hall, thrown them out in the hallway of shame.
Right.
That's it's that rude.
Hallway of shame.
Should we not go there? All right, down the hallway of shame right now. East Gaston, Chase, RS Central, Union Academy, Forest View, North Lincoln, Lincoln, Lake Norman Charter, Bessemer City, and Burns is not in the top 20 anymore. Now the Burns fans are probably getting mad about who's number 20 since Burns is 21. Number 20 is Shelby. They're 1-3, but that's how the math works out right now, Terry. They've lost to 3 3A teams, and they beat 1 3A team, so you got 0 points. Burns is at -1 right now, even though they beat Shelby. Burns, you've played one less game than Shelby. You win the next game, you're going to be ranked ahead of them. Because they'll be playing 2As mostly the rest of the way as well, so they can only get 2 points a game on those. You guys will be playing 3, so don't worry about the polls, Terry. It always works out. Speaking of that, I want Hunter to read this poll explanation for me. Just read that paragraph. Can you read a paragraph? I've never asked you before.
I can. Okay. The poll explanation.
Yes.
This is not, that is, capital letters, not an opinion poll. It is an evaluation of how good of a season you've had so far. It doesn't mean we think one team is better than the other. This is nothing more than an advanced standing system for all the schools in our area.
Advanced is the key word right, Terry.
Exactly.
We put this in the lab, and we had to work this out. The 2018 Prep Power Poll consists of teams from our local conferences in Gaston, Lincoln, and Cleveland counties of North Carolina. The further you advance in the playoffs, the higher you advance in the poll. Teams will be assigned PP Power Poll points based on strength of victory and loss. Tiebreakers will be based on record, defensive points allowed, head-to-head matchups, and offensive points scored. Do I need to read the PowerPoint's explanation?
I'll do that. You get 1 point for a 1A victory, 2 points for a 2A victory, 3 points for a 3A victory, and 4 for a 4A victory. That's easy, isn't it, Terry?
That's easy.
Now, to lose is a little bit more confusing, but if you always start at the 2As, you'll never get it wrong. If you lose to a 2A, you lose 2 points. If you beat a 2A, you get 2 points. Now, if you lose to a 1A, you lose 3 points. And if you lose to a 3A, you lose 1 point. Now, we understand, right, Terry, that some teams are better than others, and 1 point shouldn't be better than this point, but it works out in the end, doesn't it?
It does.
Last year, I wish I had it pulled up. We like to go over it sometimes and read the end. All right, Shelby's number 20 with 0 power points, okay? 0. Burns was on the outside at -1. So these next couple of teams all have 0 power point. Actually, Burns is 22. Forest View's got 0. They missed out on the defense to Shelby at 1-3. So check that, Burns are 22. Number 19, North Gaston at 0 points. They're 2-2 overall. Number 18, Community School of Davidson, 2-1 overall. Number 17. Now, Terry, I haven't 100% confirmed the defensive stats, but I think by records I got it right anyway. So Mountain Island, no. 17 is East Lincoln. They're first team with 1 point. East Lincoln Mustangs at 1-2 got 1 point. At number 16, the Pine Lake Prep Pride at 1 point. They've won 3 ball games and lost 1, and they have 1 point. So just for example, people were talking about the weight of the schedule and stuff. So Pine Lake Prep 3-1 have 1 point. Shelby at 1-3 have 0. So Shelby's next 2A victory would actually put them ahead of Pine Lakes on that. So they just keep in mind when you're wondering how you got your points and what happened there. There you go. There's a good example of how that works. Number 15, we talked to assistant coach last night. Mountain Island Charter. They got 2 points, Terry. 3-1 on the season. They won 60-0 last night over Victory Christian. South Point is number 14. 2-2. Now, Terry, we're laying bets before the season, Hunter and Carson. And someone told you, I bet that Shelby combined to be 3-5 after 8 games. Would you ever not take that bet?
I would have. You know what I'm saying? I would
3
have
and
probably
5.
bet my whole house. I mean, that's what I would have probably
3 and 5.
done.
You're right, yeah.
3-5, Shelby and South Point this year.
But if I'd have talked to Coach Jones first, I would have understood they lost 81% of their offense, and I
Yeah.
would have thought different.
those are some fun stats
It
in the jamboree that he was talking about there about the offense and everything. It's not that you can't replace it; it just takes some time
It takes
to
some
gel
time.
everything, especially. And then when if you lose some offensive line pieces and that get that gel, you got problems there. So number 13 in the power poll now, the Newton Conover Red Devils. They've got 3 points and they're 2-1. Number 12. Here we go, boys. The Highland Tech Rams undefeated after 4 weeks. Here's who I was undefeated after 4 weeks. East Rutherford, Bandy's, Kings Mountain, Crest, Ashbrook, Maiden, West Lincoln, Hunter Huss, Thomas Jefferson, Stuart Kramer, and Highland Tech. Highland Tech, number 12 in the power poll. Number 11 in the power poll. This is our Southern Piedmont 1A grouping here. Number 11 in the power poll, the Cherville Ironmen right now at 3-1. Number 10 in the power poll is Thomas Jefferson. Now they're our first team with 4 points. Actually, our only team with 4 points. They're at 3-0 right now. So, Terry, whoever wins that game in 2 weeks is going to be advancing up into the power poll, and the other will probably drop a few spots for that 1A loss. Highland Tech opens up their conference. Or, no, not in conference. They play next week at Christ the King, guys. We could be looking at a 3-0 after 5-week undefeated Highland Tech Ram team. So, yeah, and I told Terry and them last night, even this week, this morning, and I know I hadn't talked to you or Rich or anybody, it's like, Highland Tech would be a good cover article this week, 2-0 after 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially if they go 3-0, they ought to be on Sunday's edition. On the top half. The top fold,
Yeah,
right?
above
Top
the fold.
Above the fold. Number 9. Terry, here you are. Fire the cannons.
West Lincoln Rebels is number 9, but I want to show you an interesting stat about last night's game. We always talk about West Lincoln running, West Lincoln running, West Lincoln running. Last night they had a receiver with 5 catches, 164 yards.
What?
They threw it 5 times?
From the Rebels.
Now, and that's scary. That's scary because they're running the ball well. I had someone mention 77 over there the other night, how big he was. But Terry, talking about that, you know, Andre was coming down the hall last night before you got here, running his mouth a little bit about the Rebels, and he's saying Cherville he said y'all are lucky y'all had to play him in the playoffs. Cherville get that figured out. And because he was talking about the first drive in Cherville in West Lincoln, he goes, I think Cherville's about to stop him, and then all of a sudden, who knew West Lincoln threw a pass
For a touchdown.
He said, I thought, well, we probably weren't prepared for that, so maybe we get them next time. But you know, it does add a dimension. If you can run the ball well, and if you haven't passed, South Point's been doing it for years, you know. But everybody says, you know, what about pass? There were a few years when I played back in the days that you threw the ball around a little bit. It wasn't just the running game. I don't know if you remember in the early 2000s, you guys did throw the ball a little bit. So West Lincoln is 9 at 5 points. You got any other comments on the Rebels besides the cow in your office the other day?
No.
Wait a minute, let me ask you something. Why did you not start up a cow patty bingo game?
Well,
That'd been the first thing you should have done.
Somebody would have had out there and made out the blocks.
Do you know what cow patty bingo is?
Yeah.
What?
Do you know what cow patty bingo is?
I know what bingo is. I know what.
Do you know what cow patty bingo is? Carson?
I think I can infer.
You at Bandy's don't know what cow patty bingo is.
Let me tell you something. We ain't that bad.
You sure?
So, Terry, you want to explain
What's
it to
that
him?
got to do with it?
Terry, you want to explain cow patty bingo to him, or do you want me to?
You know, you can go out there like on a football field and mark off little blocks, and
Bingo
if
spots.
that cow
100
patty
squares.
makes a cow patty in your
Oh,
block,
boy.
you win.
You buy a raffle ticket.
Oh,
it's
my
cow patty
Lord.
raffle tickets, basically.
Hey, we have that all over the place up this way.
You've been to the fair, hadn't you, where they ring the bell and the little rat runs into the hole? It's kind of the same concept. You feed the cow.
Oh,
What am I hearing
boy.
this morning?
Have you ever been to
Are
a
y'all that bored over there?
Oh, it's-
really?
Do y'all still not have iPads?
Those are fun. That's a good fundraiser. These boys are shocked by it. I'm serious. I've seen it.
yeah.
Oh boy,
Ah,
I guess I've missed that on that part of life.
I'm kind of
Cow patty bingo. That see, we got to talk to Philip Russ about the next Bedford City fundraiser. That just sounds like something they could do over there. There is a farm just right down the street. We could borrow one maybe. All right, now that we're done with cow patty bingo and the West Lincoln Rebels, the Stuart Kramer Storm at number 8. They've got 5 power points as well. 3-0 on the season, starting off pretty good season there in Kramertown. Now Kramer, let's see, they're next. They were open this week
South Point next, right?
at home. What do you think about that, Carson?
I'm waiting on them to score against South Point.
Have they not even scored
They
on
have
them
not.
yet?
This. I think this will be the
Ooh.
year. This will be the year. I think you've got a good quarterback, the Carpenter kid for Stuart Kramer. Kendall Carr. I don't know if either of y'all have seen anything on Kendall Carr.
Nope.
But that kid's for real. He's
Yeah.
a tight end. I mean, I've got a buddy that does that videos for them, and I mean, he's shown me some stuff on Huddle and that sort of deal. Kendall Carr,
For who?
the Stuart Kramer Storm.
Oh yeah, I saw him when.
Yeah.
I saw him when they played Lincoln. Yeah, it's a man.
He
He's
is
for real.
He is yes.
He is for real.
He is for
Red
real.
zone, real. He's a threat.
I mean,
he's
yeah,
the biggest threat.
Yeah, I mean, and normally you don't talk about tight ends a lot in high school football, but that kid, and he knows how to line up with his hand in the dirt. He doesn't need to
I was
necessarily
gonna say,
be
think
strung
about it.
out
Most
wide.
most high schools they don't really use a tight end like how Stuart Kramer
on the
uses
line.
him.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. He can block. He can catch passes. I think Stuart Kramer. I think this might be the year they score. I don't know if you get over the hump and beat South Point yet.
I think they're going to be too pumped.
Yeah. Well,
Every time that game comes around, they are so pumped
Is that-
to beating South Point that you're going to have to do it once.
is it at Kramer
get
or
over
at
it.
That's
South?
Stuart. It's on the
Oof.
turf.
Yeah,
That's what
I mean-
this is.
It could. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that'll probably be the best game in Gaston County.
Here's
probably
what's
this
tough
coming
for
week.
Stuart Kramer. Let me read you their schedule.
Yeah, boy. Once it gets into conference play, it gets real.
South Point, at Kings Mountain,
Oof.
home against Crest,
Oof.
home against Burns,
Oof.
at North Gaston, at Ashbrook, Huss, and Forest View. So Kramer's not,
They got to run. They're
Yeah.
gonna have a tough run.
and looking at their earlier on schedule, Lincoln and Mountain Island Charter, East Gaston all having, Mountain Island Charter's having a good year, but 3A against 1A, you expect them to win. So so they're where they're supposed to be right now. And now's the time to find out where they're going to be at. They're going to have a chance at a playoff run, and if they're good enough as what we think they might be, they could possibly make a run at the conference. Terry, is this one of, if not the best 3A conference? In the
I
state?
would say, we're kind of biased on it's on this side, but I would say it would be.
Right.
I mean,
Well, let me put it this way. Let me go down the teams real quick. Would it be let me say it this out loud. Just any year, not just this year per se, but just any year, would it ever be a surprise if Kings Mountain, Crest, or Burns wins the conference championship?
no.
Would it be a surprise if Huss won a conference championship?
Or
Would it be a
Ashbrook.
surprise about Kramer or Ashbrook at this point? Within that division, yes, maybe.
Well, I mean, really,
Because of Crest, Kings Mountain,
Yeah.
in being in there. But if you
Yeah.
close your eyes and said, looked at Kramer's, in them's resume, if they will make a run this year, Kings Mountain having injury problems. Crest looks pretty solid. But the rest of them seem like they have a few questions here. I think everybody's gettable this year at this point.
The thing that I look at is Stuart Kramer's going to come into this game against South Point.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3-0. And then,
2 weeks on the turf, Carson.
I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. They could come out of this thing after 3 more games, 3-3.
Well,
That's true.
And Ray Greer, I don't know if y'all knew this. Ray Greer, I don't know if he came back. He was hurt in that South Point Clover game last night. And Ray Greer is a guy. I mean, obviously he's not going to be the feature back at South Point. He's not the big deal, but Ray Greer is special.
Yeah.
I mean, he does a lot of different things. He can catch passes. He can return. So if you can get Ray Greer back after those 2 weeks, I don't know if South Point has who they got. They have
South
coming up this
Point's
week.
they're at Stuart Kramer this week, and then they got a bye, and then at Ashbrook, at East Gaston, at East Rutherford.
Yeah, well, I mean, South Point is
South Point has 4 straight road games.
That's tough. I mean, but then at the same time, you're going to be backloaded with a lot of games at Belmont late in the season.
The last 3 are at home: RS, Chase, and Shelby.
Yeah, and I mean
No, at Shelby.
Oh,
so,
well,
ooh.
that's yeah. I mean, South Point they're not as dominant as probably as we're used to seeing them.
5 of the next 7 games on the road for the Red Raiders.
That's going to test you. You'll find out a lot about South Point, and I think we were talking about Shelby, the fact that they're 1-3 and all this. You remember the last time South Point won a state championship? They started 1-3.
Yeah, they did. And
So there
every
you go,
week,
South Point fan-
and every
Shelby
week,
fans.
Coach Lineberger would tell us
They're
we're getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that's the thing. I mean we're still early, and it's not like we have a poll like
Well, they, only had
NCAA
they only had 2 weeks to get ready too. These
Well,
teams,
yeah,
yeah.
And
Week
guys,
3 or
we
4
keep-
is about time you start getting humming.
And we keep looking at them and
Especially for
thinking
South
they're
Point.
bad. Well, they lost to Crest.
And Clover.
And they lost to
And-
Clover.
yeah.
Those are pretty good
I
teams,
mean,
right? Terry?
yeah, exactly.
All right, we got to finish the poll. Bandies. Nope, we got to skip one. Terry, Dennis will fall out of their seats if I don't talk about this next team. I was joking last night on my way to the game. Dennis called you guys in the pregame. But, the first caller just called and said he's guessing at Lincoln and didn't say anything.
Boy.
And I was like, poor Carson.
Boy.
And I was
Well, he
like,
kind of caught us off guard.
that's all he said. And so then I was like, well, so the first caller we get 3 minutes in the show just said 2 words and that was it. And then 5 minutes later, we got a new caller and I'm like, okay, this will get better. It's Dennis Davis. And I'm like, gosh, Dennis, you couldn't wait 5 minutes for someone to say the word Crest.
Listen,
5
Dennis-
minutes, just into the show.
Dennis saved it because that would allow me to be like, all right, we're gonna move on to the next caller.
You did do that.
That saved me. That saved me.
But Dennis, I pick on him all the time, and we had to make a rule. Y'all weren't here for the postgame show. I made a rule last night when they came in. I was like, guys, we got 45 minutes to 11. No fan phone calls. And no Crest Shelby talk for 45 minutes. Can you do it, Dennis? And he's just over here just
Jittering.
just shaking and jittering. I'm like, we can talk about all these games 45 minutes, and I'm going to open up the phone lines. You guys can. I know everyone wants to talk about it and we'll talk about that for 37 minutes, and they did. So you just got to put a little restraint on him over here in the corner sometimes. He was texting me during that Appalachian game, though. He was giving me the updates on that. I wasn't near TV, so I do want to thank Dennis for that. And everybody up at Crest, Jeff Melton and the gang last night, helping us get set up and get ready. As always, they're just wonderful helping out over there and keep getting ready. He was busy day for him. Crest Shelby game, AD was. Everybody wants to ask him a question, right, Terry?
That's true.
When you're in charge like that. All right, Hunter.
Yeah.
Let's talk about number 6.
God, yeah, let's talk about it.
Number 6 at 3-0, the Bandies Trojans.
Terry, when was the last time Bandies was 3-0? Do you know off the top of your head? Do you have that in your stack of papers?
Yeah, I can daggum. I don't have it with me
I
in
can-
here, but
I
I know.
Dadgum, I tell you what.
I can tell you it's been a while.
I was going to ask you,
was
Terry,
there,
about
yeah.
that about
But-
the South Point and Shelby thing, about them being that low too. And I was like, hey, Terry, he can't just type into his.
Well, I'm gonna
book,
sit
but
here
he'll
and
have it
tell you.
somewhere, But yeah,
There's one huge thing for Shelby, and I know Shelby fans, and I know some of them are listening. But you're with your record right now. I mean, you're 1-3.
mm-hmm.
You could go to 1-4 against Kings Mountain.
You could.
You know what I'm saying? And 45 out of the last 46 years, they've had teams that have won 7 games. And that'll start, if you lose this coming week to Kings Mountain, you go to 1-4, you're going to be pushing for
You're gonna have
7
to-
wins.
You'd have to put a run together.
you have
You
to win the
would.
rest of your schedule. They'll have to win the rest of their schedule if you want the 7 during the regular season,
That's
because you can
what-
get one in
yeah,
the
you
playoffs.
could.
But if you go in the playoffs at 6-6, you're not exactly going to be playing an easy team in the first round.
That's-
And you're not going to be at home.
That's
obviously.
so. They finish up the season. We expect them to maybe run through these first 3, 4 games. Mount Pleasant, Chase, RS, and East Gaston, but it's going to end the season at East Rutherford and at South Point. We're going to talk about them in a minute. We got to talk about their Trojans, Terry.
Yeah.
Don't interrupt Hunter and his
Well,
Trojan. He's got to talk
I was
about
the
that.
only thing I was going to say about that, and then I'll let you talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said, Hunter, talk about the Trojans. Trojans. We'll talk about them.
But if
That's-
you
how about
let
that one?
Shelby go 4-0 through there, they've already learned how to win.
Mm-hmm.
Them last 2 games will be huge.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. All right, Hunter.
Yeah.
Your Trojans,
Yes.
3-0.
Right.
They were number one last time you were in here.
Yeah,
you took a week off. So
unfortunately.
they took a week off, and so did you. So
Right.
neither one of you are ranked number one anymore.
Oh.
You're no longer number one in my heart, Hunter.
Man.
They beat St. Stephen's 42-28.
Mm-hmm.
One at home against Ford, 49-14, and then at Bunker Hill, 62-6. So taking care of business so far, right, Terry?
Yeah, and Hunter, I'm going to ask you, as people would look at that and they'd go, okay, you beat St. Stephen's, you beat Ford, and you beat Bunker Hill.
Yeah.
Are you that good?
Well, see, that's what I want to know is because, since, of course, I'm covering most of the Lincoln County games, I'm not able to be there to watch Bandy's, so I can't give my eye test. But just looking at the numbers, obviously they can score. They can score because
153 points
in three games.
In three games. 51 a game.
And I will give them this. They have played some poor teams. They have. Bunker Hill has 60's been dropped on them, like that's what they're averaging giving up. Okay, that's just unfortunately that's how it is over there at the Ant Hill. That's what we used to call them in high school. St. Stephen's, they haven't really been. I know.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Hey, but until y'all can beat us, man. I mean, hey,
Until they
y'all
can beat
calling
anybody.
us the cow people? I mean,
look.
y'all are ant people.
Well, I mean, we don't have a cow showing up.
Oh, you go to your office.
I know, like let me Kermit T-sip real quick. I mean, you had one show up at your office. Anyways.
They've got coming up, Hunter. They got at Hickory.
Yeah.
Who Huss handled last night.
Right.
So that could be promising for you. You're averaging 51 a game.
That's
You're
what I
only
was gonna
giving
say.
up 15, 16 a game.
And see what was our score against St. Stephen's? We only
42-28.
40, so they scored 28. We put 42 up on St. Stephen's, and you know what stands out to me looking at that board over there? Maiden was only able to put up 21.
Yeah,
and we play Maiden
2 weeks.
in 2 weeks. The week after we play Hickory, I think we're going to go into that Maiden game still undefeated. I think we beat Hickory, and I think we beat Hickory by a pretty substantial margin.
That's gonna be a huge game.
That's gonna be a
so
big
if y'all
game.
go in at 4-0, let's see if Maiden's got a bye before then. I don't know if they do or not because I don't have their schedule right in front of me. But I can pull it up just as quick as I can. I hope.
You hope.
I hope. Well, no matter what, I'm gonna pull it up as quick as I can. I
Yeah.
guess technically, right?
It looks like it says their next game is at Bandy's, so I think they might have a bye.
Yeah, they had a bye, so both teams could be coming in here, guys, at 4-0.
4-0, and it's the biggest rivalry really in Catawba County area.
Are you sure?
For 2A.
What about Newton?
See, that's what's funny. I talked about that's what's funny. We used to say we want to. Well, I can't say it on there. Never mind. That was the saying we would have for Newton, and it has to do with the word fun. But I can't tell you what.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what that means. But it was funny. I was talking with Ken last night after the broadcast, and I said it's almost like our own mini Tobacco Road right there. There are 3 schools that do not like each other at all. It's Maiden, Newton, and Bandy's, and they're all within a few miles of each other.
I gotta lean towards Terry on this one.
Newton?
The Newton and Maiden because it's 2 devils.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you
That's the only thing I got, Hunter. That's
and it's red. Oh, you want to just go because it's red and blue?
Exactly.
Red.
There's a red devil and a blue devil. I mean,
Red and blue.
if you're gonna, you got to match them up like that. So, it's funny. North Carolina, we got a maroon devil too. Swain County is the maroon devils.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other?
But I will say this: I might have to
2
take
devils.
Look,
In
Or
one
Diana.
county.
hey, look, man. Sometimes Trojan's gonna cut the head of the devil off.
At
I
the-
mean, that's just how it goes.
At the Maiden Newton game, are they allowed to do a prayer for the game? Just question.
Hey, I've
Number
never been
5, the
there.
Ashburn Green Wave. Let's move on here. We got to get to a break. They're 3-0 right now. 9 power points on the season. Ashbrook has beat East Meck at East Lincoln and at Forestry Cherry. Next week's the big test though, at Clover. So we'll know if Ashbrook's for real next week, playing the Eagles. Number 4, Hunter. You want to announce the number 4 team?
Schmaden.
He won't say anything with the Blue Devil. He just won't.
Schmaden.
Maiden is the number 4 team. Maiden 4-0 right now. They'll have a week off, and if Bandy's wins this week, we could be looking at a combined 8-0 going into the next game. Terry, you got a comment on that?
Yeah, I just had somebody that's listening to us. He sends says Maiden and Bandy's is the bigger rival. They do the fundraiser then.
You're right. They do the fundraiser. You are right, and that's the pink out game most of the time for breast cancer. If it's later in the season, but it won't be this year. But it is a fundraiser.
All right,
Well,
there you go.
That is right. Where is it? Is it at? Most past few years, it's been at Maiden, but I think it's. Is it
Bandy's this year.
It's at Bandy's. Yeah, I might have to drive about 10 minutes from my house and go watch that game.
All right, so we've got. You can do a special report for that game,
Yeah.
Hunter. We might let you do that if it's two undefeated teams like that from that conference. How about number 3, Kings Mountain Mountaineers? This is a lot of teams' favorite team this year, but they're, as usual, facing injuries. Max out, Paysor's out, but they held on last night, big win. That game was close most of the game, and the Kings Mountain pulled away late, 48-19 victory over Cuthbertson. We see them quite a bit, that name Cuthbertson, in our area in these games, in the playoffs some too as well. Excuse me. I was going to pull up a quick note from the from that Kings Mountain game. I want to see if star of the game was Kalen Wade, quarterback, 382 total yards, 335 in the air, 5 touchdowns, and 48 yards on the ground with another score. And the thing about Kalen, and I said before the season started, I thought he was the best quarterback around, folks. You got to see him play. He's fast enough and athletic enough to not ever have to throw the ball. But look at those stats: 350 in the air and 47 rushing, and he doesn't never have to run the ball because he can throw it so well. And he's got a weapon in Kobe Paceauer, who's just outstanding. Hunter saw him in the jamboree, and Carson, I think you guys did as well.
Yeah.
You guys were in the booth, and just think if he had 2 of those guys, because his brother is older than him, and the same size, and maybe even a little bigger than him right now.
We saw him when they played South Caldwell?
The double fist. He's double fisted right now with his hands tied up. But they also lost their actual backup quarterback or tight end / in Melton, and so they've lost quite a bit. Kobe Paceauer had 5 catches, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And here's a sleeper. How about the Chris Britton? The underneath receiver. It tore up South Caldwell underneath.
Yes.
He caught 3 balls for 137 last night. So if he was their number 3 receiver, I mean, this is I would say we're looking at an offense and if they had Rickalen, we're looking at an explosive offense like Shelby had a couple years ago, Terry. If everybody's healthy and everybody's in. No, they're not even healthy right now. They're 3-0, number 3 in our power poll. Do you have a note or anything that you wanted before I go on to the top 2?
No, we're good.
All right, let's finish this up. We got to go to a break. East Rutherford, 11 points. They're number 2 team in the power poll at 4-0. Terry, the problem with East Rutherford, though, give up 110 points this season. So, for you folks wondering about that, the defense is a little shaky, but watching that game last night, and Tom called in, confirming it and everything, they can fly. They've got some burners. They've had some transfers from RS Central. I don't know who's what, but they've got some players over there that they didn't expect maybe before the year now, Terry. And the guys last night, they got second level on Burns. It was over. Carson, was you at that Bestford City Cherville game, first game?
No, it was not.
Okay. I couldn't remember if you come out there or not. Cherville and Coach Pruitt was talking about Florine earlier. He got the ball and got on the corner. And the fast kids you see in high school, and they just take off. They got a different gear than everybody else. Just like that. And East Rutherford's got maybe 2 of those. They get a crease, they're going to be gone. And they were like that. I think they're gonna score maybe on anybody with that speed. I think they're kind of like, I'd compare them like to Maiden a few years ago when Caleb Farley was running quarterback, where they might put 35 on you, but they might give up 40 or 52. So we'll see how they go going forward. Carson Dockery, 4-0. They beat Patton. They beat Coxmill. They beat Clover. They beat Hickory, and they got a bye week now. With 7 games to go, you pumped them up before the season. We talked about them coming in. The Hunter Huskies are now number 1 in the power poll. Have been for 2 weeks, and they'll be going forward.
It's one of those things. I mean, when I was at Huss, we were not nearly this good at football. We were 500, maybe a little better, and basketball was the focus. But Coach McCoy, man, he's doing something good. Zoe Wallace has been playing really good. Tony Davis is gonna play Division I football somewhere next year. He hadn't decided yet.
He was Duke, right, and then came back off Duke.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
who knows.
Yeah, who knows? But You got Marcus Mooney. You've got Dontavius Nash. I mean, that defense is one of the best defenses around. But I mean, really, you know, Hunter Huss, it's always going to be penalties. It's always going to be that playing disciplined and not shooting yourself in the foot. Obviously, had no problem with Hickory. And honestly, Terry, you know, we talked about it during the pregame show last night. I mean, they let Hickory come back from 19 points down last year. And that was something I don't think that Coach McCoy forgot about. And I think he probably told that to him before the game. If you get them up, don't let them up. Or if you get them down, don't let them up.
And I guarantee once he got ahead of them, that might have been the first words coming off his head as they're coming off. Okay, now we got a lead. Now, remember last year? Mm-hmm. You know. Yeah. And I'm very impressed with that win. Very impressed.
All right, we got 2 weeks left until all the buys are over. So next week and the next. Guys, we are a third. This is week 1 of NFL, and we are a third of a way through high school football season.
That's weird.
Week 1 NFL, we're a third of a way through high school football season so far this year. We got 2 weeks of bye weeks left, and then the last 6 weeks, we're not going to have any buys, and everybody's just going to be all out playing each other.
Boy.
Looking at the top 10 going forward, you guys have a bye week this week, so you're going to fall off number 1.
Who do they play after the bye?
North Gaston.
North Gaston, okay.
So that'll be some big wins. Now, who's going to be number 1 next week? If Kings Mountain wins, they'll have 12 power points. But there's a little thing called East Rutherford in front of them who play at Patton. Terry, East Rutherford going to win at Patton?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So East Rutherford will probably be number 1 going into the papers power poll the next week. Kings Mountain possibly 2, and then Huss 3 if you're looking forward to the next poll. What can happen. But you never know. We have upsets, and things can happen going forward. So it's high school football. Mm-hmm. Any other comments on the week before we're way up against the break. We got to go big time. Any other comments, high school football for week? It's college football and NFL time. Yeah. We got to get into that.
We just need to go over the scores.
Scores one more time, everybody. Go ahead. I'll give this week's games on KTC. Bessemer City and Stuart Kramer were off this week on WLON. 10:50 a.m. We had Lincoln 46-0 victory over East Gaston. Hunter was there for that one, along with Tim Johnson and Ken Link. I want to thank them for all the work they do. Up in Drone, they found their way up there and back, believe it or not, with a paper map. Danny and Milton, Cherville, 46-38 winners over Drone. They called me back last night, Carson, during the game, on the way back. Milton said, well, I can't talk to you right now because we're going through the country. I have no idea where I'm at. And Danny can't talk to you because he's trying to figure out where we're at and tell me where I'm at. So eventually they called.
They had a compass and map.
I don't know what they were doing. Crest, 27-6 victories over the Shelby Golden Lions. East Rutherford, 45-19 over Burns. Terry, next board.
It was Kings Mountain 48, Culberson 19, Ashbrook a 28-27 come-from-behind win over Forest View, going for 2 points, and it succeeded. It was East Lincoln 41, North Gaston 22, Hunter Huss 35, Hickory 7, Highland Tech 35, Lake Norman Charter 28. In this game, Highland Tech did lead one time, 28-0.
Yeah, boy.
It was Alexander Central 56, North Lincoln 24.
All right, Hunter.
Fred T. Ford, West Lincoln. West Lincoln comes out on top 42-10. Pisgah, RS Central. Pisgah 35, RS Central 13. East Henderson 47, Chase 21. Maiden over St. Stephen's 21-13. East Burke and Newton Conover 41-14. And the Bandy's Trojans 62, Bunker Hill 6.
North Surrey came out on top of Community School of Davidson 38-14. Commonwealth took the 52-12 loss to Pine Lake Prep. Another big win for Thomas Jefferson, 54-14 over Trinity. Another big win for Mountain Island Charter as well, 60-0 versus Victory Christian. And Clover coming out on top over South Point, 30-21.
All right, Terry, do you have something else to say?
No, well, okay. The only one that surprises me as I go through these boards is when I pull up a West Caldwell score, they got shut out again. They have been outscored 195-6 in 4 games.
That's tough. All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Dr. John L. Cloninger III of Lincoln will brighten your smiles with professional cosmetic dentistry and smile enhancement procedures for everyone. Even Duke fans will smile at the work of this Tar Heel. The office of Dr. John L. Cloninger III is located at 904 Doncha Drive. For an appointment, call 704-735-0765. That's 704-735-0765. And John III says best wishes to all high school athletes.
Maybe a punctuation mark on a career night.
They've got them all. At Renato Auto Mall in Shelby, they've got Ford, Chevrolets, Buicks, Toyotas, Nissans, Hondas, Kias, GMC trucks, and more. What are we talking about? We're talking about the huge used car selection at Renato Auto Mall. Before you buy, come see Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And they are now your SUV headquarters. Over 50 to choose from, new and used, all makes, all models, and 10 to choose from, priced at under $10,000 at Renato Auto Mall. 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com. It's tailgate time. Before you head to the big game, head to Hillbilly's Barbecue and Steaks for your tailgate party pack. No matter how big or small your tailgate party is, you get great food at affordable prices. From barbecue to chicken to steaks and more. For a complete list of party packs, visit the website at hillbilliesbbqsteaks.com. Hillbilly's Barbecue and Steaks, 930 East Garrison Boulevard in Gastonia and 720 McCannville Road in Lowell. Feeding our area since 1989. At Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation in Cherryville, it's their passion that makes them different. Their goal is to return their rehabilitation residents home as soon as possible. Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation offers 24-hour nursing care, foods prepared on site, private and semi-private accommodation, television and telephone, and even wireless internet. From short-term to long-term care, your care and safety is their top priority. For more information, call and speak with a representative at 704-435-4161 or visit the website at sandstonehealth.com. Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation, where their passion makes them different.
Say, kids, what time is it?
This is the 60s.
Hey, JJ Wilson here reminding you to tune in this weekend for This is the 60s, featuring the best music from the best decade and so much more. There's 60s television, movies, news, pop culture, trivia, novelty songs, interviews, deep cuts, and a whole lot more. It's peace, love, and rock and roll on This is the 60s.
This is the 60s, Friday mornings from 10 a.m. till 12 noon on The Balls, WOHS, AM and FM in Shelby, WLON in Lincoln. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, WCSL Cherryville. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Mark Greenhalgh here for the Golf Shop Radio Show. Catch us every Wednesday from 11 to noon right here on WCSL 1590. Golf Shop Radio is driven by Fred Caldwell Chevy, home of the Silverado guys.
It's time to play at the Kings Mountain Country Club. Play and ride on the new cart paths. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $28. Seniors 55 and older can ride and play 18 holes Monday through Friday for just $24. Play and ride 18 holes on weekends for just $37. For tee times, call 704-739-5871 for the Kings Mountain Country Club, located on 109 Country Club Drive in Kings Mountain.
Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby is having an end of summer closeout sale on window unit air conditioners. Come in now and save big and keep your cool. You'll find 5,000, 10,000, and 12,000 BTU models, 110 and 220 models. Come get yours today and save big. Again, it's the end of summer closeout sale on window unit air conditioners at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. For your new Traeger grill, see Kyle at Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain and you'll leave with a smile. There's nothing like food cooked on a Traeger grill. The Traeger wood pellet grills pack big hardwood flavor, from sweet cherry to savory mesquite to apple and more. You can smoke, bake, roast, or braise. Ask about Traeger package deals. And remember Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain for your fall seating. See Kyle and you leave with a smile at Hometown Hardware, 110 South Railroad Avenue, downtown Kings Mountain.
I thought that's how they police themselves, right?
Police yourselves. Major League Baseball unwritten rules. Anybody want to talk about those?
Oh, eventually.
Rugby.
College football time. Let's talk about today's games on the dockets. JP, you got the schedule there in front of you. I don't know the times. I know we got some games today. We got Clemson and North Carolina today. It is September 8th.
Clemson plays Texas A&M.
Yep.
Yeah, there's North Carolina at East Carolina and Clemson at Texas.
Times, JP.
And at the Atlanta, the times. Oh, okay. The North Carolina East Carolina is 2:30.
Yep.
Clemson at Texas is 6 p.m.
Yep.
And the Atlanta Braves at Arizona is 5:55 p.m.
That's KTC Broadcasting sports schedule today after we go off there in just a little while. So let's go down the matchups like we do. Normally we usually just go down. I pick out games. You guys tell me who you think's going to win. Then we'll make some any comments on.
You want to do top 25 or are we just doing all of them?
I usually go down and just do the top 25.
Yeah.
But if there are some other games, we'll talk about NC State and
Games
Georgia State.
Yeah, ACC football.
Stuff
That's
like
what
that.
counts.
All right,
That's
so
what counts.
quick as we can, you guys tell me who got winners and anything if you know anything about these. Wisconsin hosts New Mexico.
Wisconsin.
Mississippi State at Kansas State. Number 18 at Kansas State.
Mississippi State.
Kansas State.
Ooh.
Western Michigan at number 21, Michigan.
It should be Michigan.
It should be Michigan, but Western Michigan's not bad.
They're not bad.
Over under 100 yards, Sage Surratt on Townsend.
Over. He had over 100 against Tulane.
You don't think Townsend is shutting down the Surratt attack?
No.
They got a double team and we still going to have 100.
All right, let's see. Going down. Duke at Northwestern, the battle of the Smarties.
That's tough, man. Northwestern.
Who's going to draw up the best play?
Listen, Duke won last year,
Yeah.
but Northwestern has the longest active winning streak in Division I football.
I
9
like
games.
Northwestern.
How many
Northwestern,
games?
9.
Really?
Yes. Coach Fitzgerald is a good coach, and as much as I like Duke, this is at Northwestern. I'm gonna pick Northwestern.
I'm intrigued about the game that you skipped over before Duke and Northwestern, just because it's Coach Herm Edwards for Arizona.
Arizona State, yeah.
Is this his first game?
No, I think they played last.
Did they play last
Wait,
week?
is he coach at Arizona?
Arizona State.
Well, then
Arizona
who's
State.
the new coach at Arizona?
Yeah, I don't
everybody's
know.
talking about.
Mike
They have a Heisman hopeful at quarterback.
Khalil Tate.
Yeah, Khalil Tate. But Houston's got a good team as well, and it's at a neutral site, even though it's in Houston. It's at isn't that where the
NRG
Texans?
Stadium.
Yeah, that's where the Texans play. So
Terry,
it's a
for
home game for Houston.
Terry, for $9, I can buy a ticket for Georgia State at NC State. Who you got?
Sure can. I got North Carolina State winning.
I got Georgia State in upset.
Is it at Carter Finley?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was really hoping y'all get to play at Turner Field, man.
Oh, is that where Georgia State
Yeah,
plays?
you didn't know that? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one
I
of
got
Braves-
Georgia State by 50.
I'm
Hey,
gonna go.
Georgia State is not a bad FCS team.
They're not.
though.
They're
not.
I'm gonna go
So-
with the one-word Wolfpack, not Nevada, the two-word Wolfpack.
I'll say this though about that Georgia State NC State game. NC State don't go in there with high heads thinking it's an FCS team because Georgia State's
They
pulled some
played a good one
upsets
last
in the
week. They
past.
played James Madison.
Yeah.
So
I think it'd be one to watch, but NC State should win.
UCLA at number 6, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Virginia Tech's got an easy day, 11-2 against William and Mary.
I'm not even picking that game. That's a gimme.
It's
That's a gimme.
$16 go that game.
I'd keep my money.
Will Holyfield get a tackle this week? He didn't get a tackle last week.
Maybe.
I think you will against William.
I
and
thought he was
Mary.
going to. The way they talked, he was going to get a lot of playing time.
He'll get a lot of playing time this week.
Caleb
How
Farley
about-
gonna get more interceptions
How about
this week?
Caleb Farley?
Yeah.
Yeah,
2
what about
picks. And I was talking to Terry down the hallway the other day, and not trying to be hyperbolic or hyperbole or whatever. Caleb Farley might be the fastest player I've seen on the field when I wasn't on the field in high school. By I mean doing a broadcast. By doing a broadcast, watching him on the field. The game when they played Lincoln and they had Roseboro and Surratt out there, not Roseboro, but Surratt was playing safety, and he would get to the corner and it was just gone.
Yeah,
and it is. And we were talking earlier about how with Farley in the game they could score and play with anybody. And him at corner, anytime with that speed, anytime a quarterback floats it too much, he's going to be hard to deal with.
Yeah.
You can't give speed like that a step. Now, I didn't know about his ball skills or anything because he's been playing quarterback.
I remember
you don't really look at that on defense. But
I remember Caleb Farley.
Corner's
his
extremely
senior
hard
year,
to play.
He was in a shootout between him and Wes Caldwell, and he took over, and he was the whole offense.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was, and he would just. If his brother wasn't doing anything from the running back position, it was Caleb.
I was doing that Lincoln and Maiden game, and that was just one point in the second half. He took it. Well, we all knew the quarterback's about to take it from 60 yards, and I just said, "Wow!" when he got to like the 5 yards. 5 yards into the second, I just knew he's gone. So congratulations to him. They're going to be kind of formidable. The only thing about Virginia Tech, I can't stand maroon. Like I don't have any problems with any other colors.
South Caldwell.
Yeah, when we did the South Caldwell game, I was telling him I can't stand the maroon, and the Virginia Tech makes it even uglier by adding orange to it. Which you can't make maroon pretty, so I don't even know what.
You can't
color
really make orange.
It's just
pretty.
awful. I like orange in a lot of things though. Miami,
Yeah, browns.
Brown and orange. Brown and orange is way better. Brown and orange is way better than burgundy or maroon.
That is
orange.
highly subjective.
Portland State at Oregon.
Or objective.
Oregon.
Oregano.
Let's see.
A lot of people say that quarterback at Oregon is the best prospect for the NFL.
The biggest pontificator on television in college football history, and the greatest football team of all time. For $5 today, you can watch the Alabama Crimson Tide host Arkansas State. Good job, Coach. Way to schedule those tough teams.
Jalen Hurts is going to redshirt.
Ooh,
saw that on Twitter, by the way.
How about
if I was Jalen Hurts, I would have transferred after last year. I would have transferred
Wake
after
Forest,
last year.
Chaz Surratt and Jalen Hurts are available.
Yeah.
So, real quick, yes or no's on this, and this is it's always bothered me because of the conference play. Why do they play Arkansas States and the Western Carolinas of the world, and then make fun of Central Florida and say you don't play anybody? Because if Appalachian would have beat Penn State and run the table, they'd have an argument for the playoffs like Central Florida did last year.
Sure would.
So Alabama disrespects them and then plays them, and so my thing is, since we've gone to the super conferences now, it's 16 teams in a conference, 14, 12, whatever it is. To me, there's no excuse now not to play all conference games.
Really?
You get on here on TV and say
Big 12, they play everybody in their conference. They play everybody in their
all 11
conference.
games should be conference games. ACC, SEC. Don't get on TV and talk about we're the greatest conference ever, but we only play half our games against our conference. The rest of them are Arkansas States and West.
Just think about it. The hardest team in that side of the SEC for Alabama this year is going to be Auburn. LSU showed some promise against Miami, but it's going to be Auburn. And not to mention that's their rival game until they meet Georgia in the SEC championship game.
If they do.
If they even do. Because if Auburn could beat Alabama, I think Alabama, they are just as susceptible as anybody to getting beat. Just like that side of the SEC, and really the SEC in general, has been pretty weak. It has. It's very top-heavy. It's very top-heavy.
Yeah. All right.
Are we picking the winner in that game?
No.
I think Arkansas.
All right, Hunter. Here's where you go, Hunter.
Yes.
Your Georgia Bulldogs.
Yes.
Go to South Kakalaki.
My sister's there, and I am jealous.
Well, I'm not jealous of her at all, and this is why. Columbia is the hottest city in America.
In America.
I'm glad Carson agrees.
Look, I don't
If
care.
you've ever been to Columbia,
it's the armpit of the South.
it's nothing.
Look, that's South Carolina in general. But
It's nothing but concrete.
Yeah.
And so if it gets above 80 degrees, it just swelters.
That's
So
not
there's
the
no
point.
green. There's
That's
no
not
grass.
the point.
It's
I wanted to go.
junction
I
of
wanted
them.
to go because I'm the Georgia fan, and all her friends are South Carolina fans. So I wanted to be
You just
down
wanted to
there.
be that guy.
I wanted to be that guy
Yeah.
with my Georgia shirt on and my little lanyard, flinging it
Hunter, have
around
you
as
ever gotten
DeAndre
beat up?
Swift runs into the end zone for about 3 or 4 more touchdowns.
Hunter, have you ever gotten beat up?
I have not.
I just want to know. It just seems that tongue of yours may have gotten you smacked before. So at some point,
Nah.
100.
Not yet.
Now I will say this: I'm just looking at the schedule, and that might be the best game of the day.
It is. It
Georgia
is.
and South Carolina.
It is.
All right. So I like to talk. I'm going to see if it is the most expensive ticket of the day because I like to talk about that too. Because one time Appalachian had the most expensive tickets. Now I'm going to go back to that. $107. It looks like it is, Hunter. If you want to go down to Georgia to go to South Carolina, you can get there before the game starts.
I'll tell you what, but
$107. They got
that
$1,500 tickets left.
ticket. That $107 ticket is probably for up in the nosebleeds.
Oh yeah.
Because we
But
looked,
you're there.
and there was
you're there.
there's an alumni of South Carolina, and he was able to get $925 tickets for $250. But I'm sitting here trying to contemplate why someone would pay $950 for a football ticket when I have a better seat in my living room.
College football ticket that.
A college
you know how I
football
feel about.
ticket.
You know how I feel about that.
I mean, I know it's a big game.
It's
It's
the
probably the
experience.
big game.
It's the
but,
experience, man.
Like,
What? So
no one wants to go to Columbia to watch their own home team
what
get
if
their
your,
butts
I was about to
spanked.
say, what if your team loses and
Yeah.
your team goes 5-5 and you spent $900 on a
Yeah.
football ticket?
I don't get it, but I would
I
say
don't think
this,
you're worried about it. If you
Yeah.
got $900 to blow,
That's true.
to me, I think this is going to be maybe a two or three touchdown win for Georgia. I just think we're too deep. We're too deep.
Terry,
I got
Dogs
South
or chickens?
Carolina winning.
no chicken.
Hey, Terry, you know how I feel about you, man. Okay,
That's a tough place to go play.
It is
It
a
is.
tough place to go play.
they're gonna
just
play
said it's gonna be hot.
Sandstorm 30,000 times. They're
gonna be
gonna
hot.
play it.
It's gonna
play
be
it
hot.
till it
Let me tell you
breaks.
something. Let me tell you something.
Rutgers at Ohio State, number 4.
Not even funny. Ohio State.
Ball State at Notre Dame.
Notre
Notre
Dame.
Dame.
And Notre Dame's ranked 8th right now.
Mhm.
All right, here's a Fedora Fireball. Does the East Carolina lost last week to who? A&T
California.
or Central?
A&T. It was A&T.
A&T.
Yeah.
So, and North Carolina A&T beat East Carolina.
A&T might be the best.
If the University
football
of
team in
North Carolina loses to East Carolina, who lost to A&T,
Fedora, off with this Fedora.
off with it. That's a good one.
Oh, boy.
that hashtag today, Carson. You guys are getting that on
Okay.
Twitter.
You know, I'm using that, Hunter.
You like that one?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, trademark, off with his Fedora.
So I thought he mangled the quarterback thing last year, and then if they
You
lose
let
that,
ECU drop 70 on you. 70. You're the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and you let ECU drop 70.
Well, East
on you.
Carolina
A
in the
team-
past has had pretty
Yeah,
decent
but
football
literally
teams with some NFL caliber football
UNC
players.
and State and Wake Forest, that, like you were talking about, it took an act of Congress for them to play ECU again. The State House had to step in and say, hey, play them.
Yeah.
I don't care. Play them.
So you want another fun stat on North Carolina's $3.9 billion endowment, Terry? Besides the $390,000 they can play every player. How about if they wanted to give every American part of that?
I mean, I'll take a chunk.
Listen to this.
I'll take
Now,
that money.
now, how many universities are in the nation? A lot.
Too many.
How about the University of North Carolina could give every American? If North Carolina never made a dime, never made another dollar, didn't make another cent, North Carolina could pay every single American $1,000.
Come on. Pay me.
And still have $300 million in the bank.
Pay me.
The University of North Carolina could pay you, Terry, me, Terry, Carson, Hunter, JP. Not only can they pay the football players, they can pay every American $1,000.
Then why aren't we getting paid is the question.
Hey,
where's the money at?
Show me the money.
That's my money, and I need
I'm
it
sure
back.
all the kids that are I'm sure all the kids that are
Yeah,
actually paying tuition in North Carolina are like, hey, wait a minute. Why am I paying anything?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
But we don't have enough money.
They don't have enough money to do to pay the players. They don't.
And
They
we
don't.
keep going up on our tuition rates. Like, oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
And books,
Well,
you need an access code that's $650, and it's just a bunch of numbers. Don't get me started.
Too late. Too late.
I've got him started on that.
Yeah.
I got to.
It's a money racket,
Gonna
and
start
everybody
talking
knows it.
Start talking about the racket that is textbooks.
Yeah, it really
Yeah,
is.
well, I found that out in 2001, and when started buying these $150, $200 textbooks, and then what got me, Carson, was I started looking at the authors of the textbooks, and they were my teachers.
Yeah, boy.
Mm-hmm.
So not only am I paying to take the class, now I have to pay a couple extra $100 per person in this class
To put money in my teacher's
to
pocket.
to the teacher's pocket. And if I don't get an A from that,
Yeah.
something ain't right.
I'm paying you.
So, talking about, North Carolina, and I said earlier about some of the student, I got the actual stats here now, my phone's working, about the rise in students in the last 25 years. So in the last 55 years, U.S. public school growth, students have grown 96%. So students have doubled
yeah.
since 1950. Teachers, how much do you think they've gone up?
I don't think they've gone up
10%.
at all.
252% of
Jeez.
teachers. Now, I'm not blaming
Wait,
teachers. Hold on.
No, what's the turnover
Wait a
rate
minute.
on that?
I'm getting an even better number for you. So this is, you want to know where your education money goes sometimes. You see why teachers are striking or there's no money in the schools. Now remember, students doubled.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers went up 250%. Administration. You ready for this one? 702%.
Oh, boy.
Students 96%, Terry. Teachers 250% since 1950, and administration 702%. And then this week, having to deal with some of the things I had to deal with. Every time you make a phone call or ask a question to somebody, you almost have to go through a lawyer.
Yeah.
And talking about retainer fees that the schools, the school systems have to just keep on file just over the things you would never think about. So there's a lot of money going a lot of different places, so they're used to my ideas on that. All right, let's finish up the college football, and I know, JP, we got a break to get to because I got NFL to talk about. North Dakota at Washington at number 9, Washington. Anybody got anything? Anybody picking Youngstown State to beat number 14, West Virginia?
No.
Will Greer's going to be too much.
South Carolina State at number 19, UCF.
Nope.
National champions roll, baby.
Savannah State at number 22, Miami.
They
Yeah,
gotta bounce back.
The stomping into the ground today of the Charlotte 49ers begins at 6 o'clock by the Appalachian State Mountaineers.
It is going to be
Hey,
a stomp.
Newsflash! It is the most expensive ticket. App State again.
I was going to say.
$115.
I looked for tickets for this about
Yes.
a month ago. Couldn't find anything.
It just took it over.
I mean, that game's that's not going to be. I don't understand. I don't understand
You get
how
there's
anybody.
62 tickets left.
I don't understand how anybody that goes to UNC Charlotte, knows anything about UNC Charlotte football, can say they even have a chance.
No, they don't.
They don't.
There's no way
They don't.
Dude, there are more App State fans
Yes.
at UNC Charlotte.
Yeah. More of the students at UNC Charlotte are probably pulling for App State.
Carson,
than Charlotte.
there's 62 tickets available. You can get it for $115 for
Keep
that.
your money.
No,
Hey,
yeah.
every seat in the house though is good. You're not guaranteed a nosebleed at UNC Charlotte though.
Because
For
there's
you're
not any.
$115.
They don't. Yeah, you're right.
Number 2, Clemson at Texas A&M.
I think this is going to be actually a dogfight.
I think it's a game for the first half, and then Clemson's like,
Blows them
hey,
out.
yeah, they realize, hey, we're a lot better than these guys.
Southeast Louisiana at Louisiana State. For $6, you can get a ticket at that game.
And you can know what you can hear him talk like that.
Bobby
yeah.
Boucher. Randy Gregory this week said something about the devil in his profile picture, something other. Devil, kind of like Bobby Boucher, kind of sounded like that. And I just quoted him. I was like, "Foosball's the devil." No, he said something about his mama said something about the devil or something like that. And I always told him that the devil will always chase you or something like that.
Yeah,
So
I saw
that was
that.
my
Yeah, I
response.
saw
Was
that,
foosball. My mama always said foosball was the devil. And Vicky Valancourt.
We're not gonna do that quote.
She's the devil too. Alabama State at Auburn.
Auburn.
No.
War Eagle.
Hey, if Nick Saban thinks he's such a good coach, why don't he go to Alabama State? If he's the GOAT, go to Alabama State. You're already in Alabama. Just change schools.
You're right.
Be the GOAT. Right?
I don't
Why
think
not?
Alabama State can afford his salary.
Well, yes, they can.
Yes,
I just
they
told
can.
you the percentage that they fired 2 administrators.
All they
Hey,
gotta do.
hey, you
It's
never know.
It's
fired 2
it's in the
people.
public school system. They'll just move the funds from Alabama to Alabama State. He'll be fine.
Yes, that's a good point. Kentucky at number 25, Florida.
Flawed.
13 Penn State at Pittsburgh.
I think that'll actually be a pretty good game.
I do too.
I think that's going to be a really good game.
I think Penn State will win, but it'll be 10 points or less.
Yeah.
I just hate it because Penn State's up that high. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Appalachian is good.
And they lost to the number 2 team in the nation.
You know, but Penn State, I mean, you know, my whole question was that, and then when the Sports Illustrated come out, it's got Penn State on the front of it.
I didn't understand that one bit.
I'm like, okay.
Penn State should be 2. I got Alabama 1, Penn State 2, App 3. That's the way I see it.
I mean, hey.
Huh?
If you can do opinions and vote, that's that's how this works,
I
Hunter.
like how he said if you do opinions.
That's exactly how this works.
Right.
I think Penn State
Oh,
barely
wait,
beat
yeah, Herm Edwards
Appalachian.
does play tonight. I think that would be pretty good.
Herm Edwards tonight host Michigan State. Remember, Michigan State's 15.
Yeah, that'll be good.
That'll be a pretty good
That'll
game.
be a real good game.
That'll be
for the
pretty
Sun
good game.
Devils. There's you can get a ticket for $78 in Tempe. USC is at Stanford, number 17 at 10.
Stanford. I don't think USC. They have a freshman starting at quarterback this year, taking
Stanford's
over
too physical.
what Sam Darnold was. I think he's got too big of a hole to try and
All right,
fill.
last game, and we got to go. UConn at number 20, Boise State.
Not even close.
They say Boise State might be one of the dark horses in one of the lower conferences.
All right, JP, got to take a break. We'll be back. We've got to do our NFL previews here the rest of the show. We're going to go into overtime with some Major League Baseball here in just a little bit. So we got NFL previews coming next. We'll be right back. KDCBroadcasting.com.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with Dylan Scott, who has a big hit with a song called Hooked.
They wrote Hooked while Kelsey's Peter Pan was on the chart. So you got Peter Pan and Hooked.
That's Dylan Scott this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL, online at KDCBroadcasting.com. They've got them all. At Renato Auto Mall in Shelby, they've got Fords, Chevrolets, Buicks, Toyotas, Nissans, Hondas, Kias, GMC trucks, and more. What are we talking about? We're talking about the huge used car selection at Renato Auto Mall. Before you buy, come see Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And they are now your SUV headquarters. Over 50 to choose from, new and used. All makes, all models, and 10 to choose from, priced at under $10,000 at Renato Auto Mall. 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com.
Isolated and alone?
That's how millions of Americans feel while experiencing a mental health crisis.
Need to talk? Our providers love to listen.
Call us now at 1-888-235-HOPE.
That's 1-888-235-4673.
Partners, improving lives and strengthening communities in North Carolina. 1-888-235-HOPE. 235-4673.
When you need service on your automobile, do what I do and what most people around this area do. They take it to Rick's Automotive in Cherryville. They do it all at Rick's Automotive in Cherryville. Rick Walker and his staff is dedicated at providing you the best in automotive care, from an oil change to a tune-up to a full set of tires. Be sure to check out their tire specials before you buy. That's Rick's Automotive, 1001 East Main Street in Cherryville. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30. Just call 704-435-3801 for Rick's Automotive in Cherryville.
Tee it up and let it fly at the Crowders Mountain Golf Course, voted Gaston County's best course. Ride and play Monday through Friday for just $28. Play and ride after 12 for $25. On weekends and holidays, play and ride for $38 and afternoon for only $28. Seniors 55 and older play and ride Monday through Friday for $25. And Monday is Ladies' Day. Ladies play and ride on Mondays for $18. The Crowders Mountain Golf Course, located on 255 Lincoln Academy Road in Gastonia.
There's a new Kubota for every job, every harvest, every task. From zero-turn mowers to utility vehicles to tractors to construction equipment, Kubota fits the bill. Kubota products are engineered to work only 2 shifts, day and night. Kubota has tractors ranging from 18 to 168 horsepower. Whether you're moving tons of earth or just cutting your lawn, Kubota will never let you down. And check out their zero-turn mowers with decks from 42 to 60 inches. The Kubota Z-Series can handle any terrain. See the lineup today at Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive at the Highway 74 bypass Oak Grove Road intersection in Kings Mountain.
Yeah! Woo! I'm pumped. I love some NFL football. Welcome to Saturday Sports Talk Campers Inn of Kings Mountain. I'm Kevin Hastings along with Hunter Yancey, Carson Dockery, Texas Terry Reinhardt. He's reading about the Cowboys right now in the What's Up Shopper. You got to flip the page to read the rest
hot
of it,
takes
Terry.
by Kevin Hastings
It's
himself.
full of hot takes and news and notes on a lot of the teams. And the way it works is, check it out each week in KTC in the What's Up Shopper. You can win $50 from me every week by picking the teams on whatsupshopper.com. Just pick the winners. We'll have a game of the week. That game is worth 3 points. This week's game of the week is Cowboys at Panthers. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. If you get that one, it's worth 3 points, and you're going down the list. I also put a tiebreaker score for Cowboys and Panthers for us. I also predicted the playoffs all the way down to the champions. And we're going to start here at the back. And the way the poll works is I eliminate a team from Super Bowl contention each week. So before the season even starts, Hunter, I kick a team out of the NFL. You have no chance of winning the Super Bowl, and that's the way this works. So every week I have to make a tough decision and cut somebody. This year, before the season starts, my team, the Wagons, have already been circled, boys. The Buffalo Bills are starting a Peterman, and then Josh Allen should make some appearances this year. They made some terrible decisions last year, I think, with Tyrod Taylor's situation. There's some bad things going on in Buffalo. I got Buffalo as not a chance to win the Super Bowl. Number 31, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 4-12. Any arguments against that right now?
I think the only argument I have is whether or not Jameis Winston finishes the season with them.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, you don't know. Glennon's going to be starting the season, and I'm not betting any money on a Mike Glennon offense.
Terry's favorite Wolfpack, Mike Glennon.
All right. Glennon better or worse than Jameis Winston, Terry?
I think he's just as good. Eagle.
Yeah?
Yeah, to
That's
be
what
honest,
I'd say.
yeah.
All right, number 30, I got the Miami Dolphins. 5-11 is my predictions for the Dolphins. There's some people picking them to go 8-8, 9-7. I saw this year, but I'm not a fan of Tannehill. He's coming off an ACL.
Not a quarterback.
I'm not feeling it. Yeah. So I got them at 5-11. Number 29, the Arizona Cardinals. 5-11. Now this team, if they win 8 wins, it's not going to surprise me because I think Rosen, if he gets hot, they got some talent around him.
If Sam Bradford can get hot,
I think they're one of those teams that can beat all the average to bad teams, maybe. But when they play the good teams, I don't think they can do anything. I got them at 5-11. I wouldn't be surprised at 8-8, and I even wrote that in the article. Next up, I've seen some people pick this team with 9 or 10 wins, the New York Jets.
No.
I would never bet on the Jets to do anything ever at any point.
No. Have you seen the roster outside of the the New York proclaimed savior of the Jets, Sam Darnold? Have you seen the roster for the Jets? I don't know anybody. Especially on the offensive side.
They had an opportunity of picking up Bailey, the guy the Cowboys let go to kicker. So, he can make a difference in a game if they got him and they're close.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether they picked him up.
They got a pretty decent defense. They got some good key defensive players like Leonard Williams.
Yeah.
They got a good defense. But if you can't score and you're just going to rely on, he was a gunslinger in college. He's about to throw another 20 picks in the NFL.
I know they picked up Terrell Pryor for the White. Who's their running back?
Bilal Powell.
Is it?
And Isaiah
Crowell.
Yeah,
I get them confused
Nice.
because of the Wells.
At 27, at 27 and at 6-10, I've got the Oakland Raiders.
6-10 might be generous.
Is that too much?
That might be generous.
That might be very generous.
Here's the thing,
they messed up Ron.
But I think Carr can throw the ball, and I think if you got a competent quarterback, it's hard not to win five.
I think
Derek
Carr is an underrated quarterback.
That's what I'm
NFL.
saying. I think Marshawn Lynch.
Who's on that defense now, though, man?
I know, and that's why I don't have any faith in them stopping him. I think Gruden will find points, is what I'm getting at with his offense. More than I would.
He's got Amari Cooper out there to throw to.
He's going to give Skittles the ball 300-400 times if he can, too.
He's got Jared Cook as a tight end. So
now here's where some people might give me some argument on this. Some people like him. I'm not sold on him at all.
I will give you an argument on this.
Jimmy G, I'm not sold on at all. I've got it 6-10 right now. Word out of New England is that the league is going to figure him out soon now that he's got tape on him and he's about to go out there playing every week like that instead of just being surprised like it was last year. Any comments on 49ers, Terry, or anything like that?
No, not the 49ers.
Kind of feel the
I think
same on
they,
that?
I think they're at least 8-18.
I think that was
At least an 8-8. So you're feeling good about him then.
Yeah,
so.
I think
I feel good about it, but I think that was a stupid comment by New England. Now they're going to figure him out and get tape on him. Isn't that every quarterback that starts in the NFL?
Well,
That's a stupid comment.
My whole thing with Garoppolo is I haven't seen him play in a game that means anything.
I think that's how I'm feeling about it.
And
I wrote 8-8 wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't,
But I don't see 10 or 11
them as a
wins
dark
from
horse
it.
to get in
What
to the playoffs.
what would you say a plus for him if you're the one that let him go? I mean, for New England, think about it. I wouldn't give him a bonus.
No.
That's the reason we let him go.
Well, I will say
the owner let him go.
They were going to.
saying
They were going to be stuck in the position of 49ers.
Reason
were
I feel
at
so
the end of
good.
Montana and starting a young. I mean, that you had to give up one to keep the other basically, and they stuck with Tom Brady.
I feel good about Jimmy Garoppolo mostly because right now, last year and this year, we're seeing a little bit of struggle come out of Matt Ryan. Who was Matt Ryan's offensive coordinator the year that
Kyle
they went
Shanahan.
off? Kyle
Yeah,
Shanahan,
no,
who is
I
now the
believe
head
that.
coach
I got
for
you.
Jimmy G. I think he's going to get the most out of Jimmy Garoppolo at the 49ers. The 49ers roster really is not awful.
No,
And they play in a weaker part of the NFC West besides the Rams. Seattle's, the Legion of Boom is gone. And Arizona, you don't know what you're getting out of Bradford or if Rosen can even come in and play. So
I'm something Carson just said made me think. Terry, see what you think about it. Does it make you guys sad the way that we handle these quarterbacks to where we wait and want a franchise quarterback, and we get him, and then as soon as the backup is any decent, we're like, well, get rid of the quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, get rid of Romo,
Well,
get rid of Steve. Montana. Montana could have won that Super Bowl that Young won. He was making the AFC Championship game in Kansas City. The Brett Favre situation with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, a lot of that was Brett's fault because I don't know when I'm coming back, blah, blah, blah. But still, let's look at the AFC East. Buffalo has not replaced Jim Kelly. Miami has not replaced Dan Marino. And the Jets have never had a quarterback. They could throw it 80 yards. Joe Namath, look at his stats, weren't that great, but still,
the last
they won
Jets
the Super Bowl
quarterback
with him.
that was relevant was butt fumble.
But
Mark Sanchez.
and he's not even good. Is my point?
No.
Cleveland haven't replaced Bernie Kosar. Some teams wait 20 years to replace a quarterback, and then all of a sudden you're like, we got to get rid of the guy we got. And without knowing what, and I had a teacher. I understand, but it's frustrating.
I always had a teacher who had a saying: "You'll miss the trees for the forest, or you'll miss the forest for the trees."
Right.
So I mean, that's sort of that. I mean, you could be looking ahead,
looking at the greener grass on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, you might. Yeah, and I feel like people a lot of times they want to see potential. That's what they see more than actual.
Isn't it
proof.
Also GMs covering their butts?
A little
Because
bit.
if they don't make the
a
move,
little bit,
if they don't make the move, they'll get fired. Why didn't you replace Joe Montana?
Which and I think that messes up teams as much as anything.
It really
is GMs
does.
trying to save their jobs.
If they went 65 rosters, I think that 65 to the roster or 75.
Not only
I think that would
but
change
a
a
lot
little
of
bit.
it coming out now is like if the owner likes him.
Right.
If the owner
Yeah.
kind of pushes,
Well,
say, hey, we
depending-
want you to start
depending
this
on the
guy.
team, yeah.
Depending on the team.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're talking about, why Baker Mayfield might come in and start some games because the owner and the guy that drafted him, they really they're paying the money, but they really like him.
Can we just talk about the fact that it's ironic that the Browns had Michael Kendricks, they cut him for the insider trading, but Jimmy Haslam, as the owner, has a multi-million-dollar lawsuit out, but he wants to cut the guy for insider trading.
Carson, now you can't.
Come on, man.
Carson.
Come on, man.
It's the Browns. Let them have their stuff.
You know how you know how this stuff works. Kansas City, I got it 6-10 this year. I can't see Andy Reid losing more than that, but I just don't know. They've got a lot of offensive weapons.
I could see them losing more than that.
But it's
if
just
Patrick Mahomes doesn't figure things out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If he is a bust.
Bears. I love their defense coming into the season. They just added Khalil Mack. I got them at 6-10 because I don't trust the offense far enough to do anything.
Yeah.
So you guys feel okay about that one?
I got to see more from Trubisky.
All right,
Mitchell.
I got Seattle at 6-10 and Detroit at 7-9. Also missing the playoffs right before we get to our fun teams to talk about here in just a second.
I think the Seahawks could be worse than that, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
they could go.
I got to see, especially how this Earl Thomas deal runs.
Yeah,
down.
that team is one or two things.
Can you see though Russell Wilson though having that bad of 4-12 years?
It's not necessarily that Russell Wilson might have an awful year, but that team could just fall apart.
But we need to remember what Seattle has been through the years. Why they won so much was that defense.
And
Russell Wilson is
and that's why the defense. That's why all those guys left, because management prioritized Russell Wilson over everybody else.
Well, yeah, I mean they probably should.
And they should, but at the same time,
I just said about the quarterbacks.
What won you that? What won you that ring?
Yeah.
It was the defense.
It was the defense.
It was.
I got Detroit at 22, 7-9. Anybody feel Detroit making a playoff run? Anybody feeling them?
I can see 8-8.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those teams. I mean, if they do make the playoffs, they're not going to go deep.
All right, here's what I'm going to read. I'm just going to read you the Panthers thing, what I wrote in the paper this week. I got them at 7-9 this year. Went through the schedule. They've got a fairly easy schedule, I think, but there are a couple tough stretches. My thing is I don't know about how the offense is going to mesh with Norv. I got a new owner, new coordinator, and some new players at multiple positions. Can Cam stay healthy, or just a new offensive coordinator and Norv Turner's play calling? Luke Kuechly, can he stay away from concussion problems while playing middle linebacker? I think that's just going to be impossible to do. What about Peppers at the age of 40? Greg Olsen, can he return to full form after his injury? And McCaffrey handle the load, or is C.J. Anderson going to have to pick up a big part of that? And can anyone handle at the position? Everybody's high on the receivers, but I haven't seen nothing to get high on them about yet.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I just think they got a lot of questions. And then finally, Thomas Davis steroid suspension. You know, they got to play 4 weeks without him. And we talked about, you know, the whole Josh Norman. It's not only about being a good player on the field. It's about knowing where you're supposed to be. And him and Kuechly have had such a good repertoire over the years.
I think the biggest thing that you put on there that I could agree 110% the most with, well, there's two things. The first one is going to be the Luke Kuechly. Because you know he's probably 2 concussions away from a doctor saying, "Hey man, you really need to start thinking about this."
He should be one away.
Really. Yeah. And then the other one is McCaffrey. McCaffrey was used as a workhorse in college, so he's taken a whole lot more beatings than some of the running backs that were splitting carries. And they used him for punt returns and everything at Stanford. And they're wanting to do the same in the NFL. Where they hit just as hard. I agree. I think C.J. Anderson's going to have to take a lot more carries than people think.
And that 4-game stretch where you're not going to have Thomas Davis, if the Panthers can go 2-2 and maybe have a more refreshed Thomas Davis going deeper into the season,
not on steroids,
maybe that helps.
He's definitely going to be refreshed.
yeah.
He's got a cycle to get through, Carson.
Yeah.
Other notes on them, I made some comments about Jerry in the stadium. I didn't realize it, and we found out this week that not only are they required to keep the statue, they're required to take it with them
wherever they go.
If they build a new stadium in Charlotte or South Carolina, wherever, they got to take the statue with them.
I can't believe that.
And then, or if they move to London, they would have to take the statue with them. Is that the most insane? How did the NFL approve that?
Well, I mean,
they did
at UNC Charlotte. You know, it's Jerry Richardson Stadium.
They have him.
The SGA is taking it to the student body. They're going to vote on whether or not they want to keep that name on the stadium.
Okay.
So
my joke last night in the post game show was, you remember the team photo with LeVar Ball behind Richardson?
Yeah.
I think some artist should try to put some type of LeVar Ball standing behind Richardson at the statue in his practice jersey number. I mean, I can't believe someone hadn't messed with it yet or anything like that.
Really,
I guess that the right people hadn't.
The thing with the Charlotte, though, like they wouldn't have a football program if it wasn't for
that's true.
So,
but
I mean, he is a big part of
it. You can't thank the devil for giving you all your money and then tell Jesus or St. Peter, you know, hey, I had a lot of money. Well, how's it cost to get in? How much does it cost to get in here?
Yeah. I mean, even though the football program still ain't nothing, they do. Jerry Richardson was the reason they even had a football program to begin with.
That's true. In 23 seasons of existence, the Carolina Panthers have never, Terry, had back-to-back winning seasons in 23 years. They've only had 7 seasons of those 23 above 500. In 7 seasons at quarterback, Cam Newton has only had 3 winning seasons. Last year, they had a winning season. So, therefore, due to history and due to just random math, I don't feel good about this team having a back-to-back winning season. Well, along with the strength of the rest of the NFC, I think that poses the biggest problems to them in Dallas, who I have at 20-21, is that I think both of these teams have too many questions that these other NFC teams already have the answers to. I mean, Atlanta looked weak as crap in the end zone in the red zone the other night. Y'all think they'll be okay? A lot of people feeling Atlanta in the playoffs. Let's see if I don't think I had them. I actually did. I had them at 9-7 squeaking in, so that's not feeling great. That's just winning the wild card tiebreakers where I had them. Panthers there. Do any of y'all got them in the playoffs?
I mean, if they do, it would take one of those late season.
For me, it would be a wild card.
Yeah,
They would take Atlanta's 9-7 spot. You think if they
maybe
took one?
Yeah.
All right, I got Dallas. Here's Terry. Let's make him mad now. And make the Panthers mad. No Tony Romo, no Des Bryant, no Jason Witten, no Dan Bailey. I don't know who's running out there other than hot dog vendors and whoever Jerry Jones is picking up off the street. Your center's out, Terry. Your right guard's banged up. Your left tackle's banged up. You have no safeties. The corners and the front seven are pretty decent. I'll give you that. They play the Panthers this Sunday. Cowboys in Carolina. I've got the Cowboys the same thing with the Panthers this year at 7-9. Zeke is going to be hard to deal with. If they're running the ball against anybody and they playing good defense, I think they can beat those mediocre to bad teams. However, against the better teams, I think they're going to have trouble. That they can a good defense that can shut down Zeke. Until I see Dak Prescott, just slinging around and winning a game in which we haven't seen yet, I'm not going to be sold. Let's see. I was just talking junk about Jerry on that one. Called him a hot dog salesman. Decent front seven. Pretty much all the same stuff. We've talked about this for weeks. You feel a lot better about the Cowboys. So Skip Bayless. You guys are feeling good about them, but I know you disagree. How about these two first on Dallas? Do either one of y'all think got them making the playoffs?
No.
I know Mr. Redskin don't. What about you, Carson? You got them making the playoffs?
I can't.
But see, it's not just that I'm a Redskins fan.
I know that.
I mean, but hey, if I'm going
while wearing his Redskins shirt, Terry. All right, Mr. Reinhardt, you explain to us how everything I just said, Dallas is going to make these playoffs.
When you go back 2 years and Prescott first come in,
let's get ready for the story.
Well, I mean, this story is simple. I mean, he did not have a favorite receiver. He made everybody. Nobody knew who Cole Beasley was until Dak got there. And then
when
all
your
of a
first
sudden,
sentence is Cole Beasley.
That's all I got to say. I mean, and all of a sudden it was him dotting the ball everywhere on the field. He has that opportunity to do that again. Dallas does not have a legit player out there. He's going to make every one of them players part of this team. And last year when Dallas was playing, it was all about bringing Bryant into the subject. And every time he tried to throw Bryant's way, it was a pick or something happened that should not happen. He tried to please players that he does not have to do anymore. Will we miss Witten? Yes. I agree with that 100%. You got to have a big man right there. But as far as everything else goes, folks, I'm sitting here telling you, and I'm on this back burner, but Dallas is going to be better than what a lot of people think. Their defense is going to be top 12 in the NFL.
Terry, we'll give you 8-8.
But as far as the NFC East, Dallas will win the NFC East. I'm just
So we tried. A few folks watching on YouTube. We tried. Terry, I've been a Cowboy fan over the years as much as anybody.
They will beat Carolina on Sunday, but it will be close.
I mean, this is maybe the worst roster I've seen them have in 20 years, Terry. I mean, this is. Yep. And I don't know what you're seeing. You cut the Des Bryant is the all-time leader receiver and everything in Dallas. Witten is the second all-time leader receiver and everything in Dallas. Okay. Your quarterback can't throw it over 20 yards without it getting picked or just hitting the ground. I just don't. You have no safeties, and that's fine. They might put. I got them winning 7 games. I thought I was being nice.
I'll give y'all higher if y'all find a way to land Earl Thomas.
Yeah, it's not.
See, it really bothers me.
I'll give you an extra 2 games.
And I'm gonna put this out here for a lot of people. It bothers me when Washington Redskins are talking about my team because they haven't beat us, and I don't know when. FedEx Star Stadium that we play in up there in Washington is our home stadium.
Oh boy!
Terry,
just like AT&T Stadium is our home stadium.
But I think we're
next on the list.
Spots ahead of you.
Next on the list.
Next on the list, I got the Cincinnati Bengals at 7-9. The question every year is, and I've been asking this for 7 years.
When's Marvin Lewis going to go? When's he going to go?
I don't know. Is this the year Bengals make one of their random playoff runs, or y'all feel
it
the same
might?
thing?
I think it might be.
I mean,
Andy Dalton looked pretty good in the preseason.
Cincinnati could be anywhere from 4-12 to 10-6. That's one of those teams, man. It's hard to predict them.
In that division, you know, they could steal 2. I don't think they will steal 2 this year, but they could steal 2 off of the Browns. They could split with either the Ravens or the Steelers, depending on if the Steelers have Le'Veon Bell or not. So, I mean, the Cincinnati could have a pretty decent season. I haven't looked at their schedule. Obviously, you looked at it while you were making this. I don't know who all they play that's not in their division. But, I mean, the question besides Marvin Lewis, a lot of people are asking is Andy Dalton the answer at quarterback? He's had, you know, subpar years past few years. They've got a stud at wide receiver at A.J. Green. They just need to get him the ball some. And they got a new slot receiver in John Ross, who can absolutely fly. So I mean, it could be an explosive year. We'll see if Vontaze Burfict wants to try and knock some people out some more. If that's the case, it's a bad year.
If Cincinnati has a great year, Cleveland's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to make it out. Easy that can be.
It has to be. Yeah.
There can't be 2 kings.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't understand what that even means, Terry.
Yeah.
Denver Broncos, I got them at 7-9. They got a good defense. And Case Keenum won a lot of games with good defense last year. I don't think he's going to mess it up. But I just can't make myself write them down as a playoff team yet. Here's my wildest pick of everything, because I just didn't know what to do with them. On one hand, Andrew Luck is back. On another hand, he hasn't thrown a football in a year and a half.
A real football.
So, like, what do you do with that? So, do you evaluate him as what he was before? I got him at 8-8. They could go 2-14.
I got him. I agree. I think they can go 500. I think that for the most part they'll be a 500 team. Because think about it, even with a worse roster than what he has now, a healthy Andrew Luck always took him to 11-5. And that was with him getting absolutely destroyed in the back there. No one's been sacked.
All right, I got to hurry up and get through these teams, don't I?
Yeah, boy.
Washington at 16. I've got them one spot ahead of the Cowboys. Terry, there you go.
I cannot even believe that.
Alex Smith has never lost won less than 7 games in a year. Somebody's got to win the NFC. I don't feel great about Philadelphia. You saw that the other night. I've actually got them. I've got Philadelphia tied with Atlanta for the wild card spot.
Ezekiel Elliott going to be the second best running back in that division.
Yeah, I just put Atlanta in the playoffs on the tiebreaker. I got Cleveland at 8-8.
Oh, Lordy.
I said a high 9-7.
All right, answer me this, Terry. Rams, Cowboys, Browns. I got a news stat for you. Redskins and Panthers, of those teams, which team has a quarterback on the roster who has won a Super Bowl?
That don't really make a difference this year.
Which team has a quarterback on their roster that has won a Super Bowl? The Cleveland Browns. Tyrod Taylor won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. Last year, Tyrod Taylor won a playoff game. This year, he's going to the Dogs. And he's starting over the #1 pick, which means he's doing pretty good. He averages about 7, 8, 9, 10 picks a year at all. He never throws double digits. He's going to take care of them. They're going to go 8-8.
I could see them splitting
Good
with
luck.
Pittsburgh.
Now, I got Tennessee at 8-8, Philadelphia at 9-7, missing the playoffs. So we're trying to wrap everything up. Here's my playoff teams this year, and then I'm just going to do the predictions. If any of you say, nah, that team's not making the playoffs, just say it out loud, and then we'll get to it anyway because we got to skip over some of this. Jacksonville at 12.
No.
At 9-7.
No.
Their defense will get them there.
It'll be a while.
I had them out of the playoffs the whole time I wrote this article. And then I started looking at the other teams in the AFC, and they all stink, and I could not make a case to put someone else ahead of them. Houston Texans, I got an 11 spot at 9-7. Minnesota, 10-6 at the 10 spot.
Yeah.
Baltimore Ravens, led by the Blue Hen, Joe Flacco, 10-6. Secretly had one of the best defenses last year. They're adding a little bit of stuff to it. Yeah, that's what I said. Make a case for someone else to make it over them. Does Cleveland make it over them or Cincinnati? I can put somebody else.
I could put Cincinnati in there.
I got to put someone else in if I take them out.
I could put Cincinnati in there over Baltimore.
The NFC is a little bit easier to switch teams in and out than the AFC, I think. Atlanta 9-7. I got them in right now. I'm not feeling good after what we watched the other night. NFC East champion. I got the New York Football Giants. I had them picked last year to win it, and then everybody got hurt. So and then they added Saquon Barkley to that mix, and Odell Beckham's back. I think they're going to be trouble for teams. Terry's got them 4th in the NFC East. I've got them winning the division. 6th, the LA Chargers.
Yep.
A lot of people, I almost put them in the Super Bowl while picking that.
Super Bowl.
And then watching Skip and Shannon the other day, Shannon picked Chargers Saints, and Skip picked Patriots Saints. Okay, keep that in mind for a minute.
Skip loves
keep that in mind.
If it ain't the Cowboys, Skip
The
loves
Patriots
him
has
some
made
Patriots.
7 Super Bowls, and make a case that someone else is going to beat them. You want to make a case those Chargers are going to do it?
They might.
All right, here's my 5 championship contenders. Here's the 5 teams I think they can win the Super Bowl. New Orleans 5, Rams 4, Steelers 3, Packers 2, and New England Patriots
I don't
number
agree
1.
with that Packers pick.
Here's what I got on the Packers.
Got Jimmy Graham, man.
They didn't make the playoffs last year. They missed it by what, 1 game?
Yeah.
Barely.
Aaron Rodgers is worth 1 game, so they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But when I picked my playoffs, Hunter, pay attention to what I did. Just because I think they're number 2 in the poll, I think they're going to win more games than the New Orleans Saints. Look at New Orleans' schedule. Oh my God, it's hard. They've got. I think I had 2 games on there. I thought they were probably maybe easy games. The rest of them are actual. They're going to have to play in every game. So I don't even think that. I think the Saints are going to be close to missing it if they don't mess up. But I think they've got the best roster in the NFL. But like I said, I don't like their schedule. I think they're going to miss the top 2 seeds because of the schedule, and I think they're going to end up being the 3 seed. So in the playoffs, I've got round 1. Chargers with a 3 seed over the Jaguars, the 6. Texans, the 4 over the Ravens at 5 in the AFC. NFC, I got Saints in round 1 at home over the Vikings, and Giants at home over the Falcons in round 1. Round 2, Patriots at home, the 1 seed over the Texans, the 4 seed. Round 2, they've been choking for about 10 years now. I got the Steelers choking away another one to the Chargers. And then, as always, the New England Patriots never have to play anybody in the playoffs, and they get a cakewalk into the Super Bowl again, I believe. NFC, round 2, I got the Giants upsetting the Packers because, Hunter, what I just said about that, I don't trust the Packers' defense
That's what I was
at all. I don't know who
them.
Aaron's going to throw it to, and in a playoff game, it's going to be cold in Green Bay. They haven't been won a playoff game I don't know how many years in Green Bay. Now they're going to have to go against the Giants' offense. I think that they're going to do it to them. Then I got my favorite team. Sorry, Carson, here, buddy. Here is just the matter of the 1 and the 2. If you guys were the 1, I'd have y'all in the NFC Championship game in the way I had it. But I've got y'all the 2 seed right now, and I'm picking my Saints to win the Super Bowl all the way through. So I've got the Saints over the Rams in round 2 at home against the Rams. Championship round, I had Saints over Giants, Patriots over Chargers, and Super Bowl, Saints over Patriots. This weekend's games, let's go down them real quick, guys. Let's pick them before we get off here. I got Browns over Steelers.
I could see it. I don't know what you're going to do.
Y'all say Steelers or Browns, and we'll go down this list.
Steelers.
I got Colts over Bengals.
Bengals.
Colts at home. Titans at Dolphins.
Tennessee.
Titans.
I got Dolphins at home.
Dolphins.
49ers at Vikings.
Vikings.
I got
49ers.
Vikings at home. Texans at Patriots.
Patriots.
I'm not even answering that one.
Chalk across the board. I guess the next one will be 2. Bucks at Saints. Everybody going Saints. Jaguars at Giants. It's going to be a good
Jaguars.
game.
Jags.
Giants.
Be fun to watch if Odell and they get new. I got Giants winning that game at home. And that's the only reason, really, is why I went with that. Bills at Ravens. Ravens across the board. Chiefs at Chargers. Can Chiefs upset the Chargers today?
If the Chargers can get out to a good start, man, they'll be tough.
Seahawks at Broncos.
Broncos.
Hail to the Redskins in Arizona in the desert.
HTTR.
Both of them are bad. Cardinals win.
I'm going to go Cardinals.
Hey, I got both of them missing the playoffs, but I got Redskins winning this week. I think Alex Smith will be way more prepared than Josh Rosen will for week 1.
Bradford.
Or Sam Bradford. I keep forgetting my good guy. He won't be out there long.
Yeah, he's going to drive 1.
Jeez, if you've ever seen his legs. Bears at Packers. I got Packers. Jets at Lions. I got Lions.
Lions, yeah.
I got the Rams winning on the road in Oakland.
Yeah, Rams.
And our final pick of the day, the game of the week. Give me a score. Carson. Cowboys at Panthers.
Oh, God. Man, it's not gonna be pretty, no matter
No,
what.
it's not gonna be pretty.
I'm gonna say Panthers 17-14.
All right. Go ahead, Terry.
Cowboys.
I mean, no, not Terry. Go
That's
ahead,
close
Hunter.
to mine.
Go
That's
ahead,
close
Hunter.
to mine. I was gonna say 20 to 14 Cowboys.
Terry.
20-16 Cowboys.
Who'd you pick, Carson?
Panthers.
Panthers. Terry goes, what, Terry?
Panthers.
20-16.
Terry threw a 16 in there. That's funny. That's one of my scores, but that's the winning score. I got Cowboys win 16-11.
11, dear God.
3 field goals and a safety for the Panthers this Sunday.
You don't think the
I'm going to
offense-
change it. I'm going to change it.
Oh, boo.
Just did
Wait a
13.
minute. 19-18. I think the Panthers accidentally get a touchdown. Cowboys still win. So the Panthers are going to get 3 field goals, a safety,
and a touchdown.
All
right.
And
Take
lose to the Dallas Cowboys by 1 point.
Panther fans, just remember you are 0-5 against the Cowboys in regular season.
Here, let's go down the list real quick. We're in overtime. I know JP and Calvin and everybody else. Cowboys versus Panthers. Want to know how it went. 1997, Cowboys lost at Carolina. That was a playoff game. I was there. I was Troy Aikman when they were hitting everybody illegally.
That was at Clemson, wasn't it?
No.
No, was it not?
Yeah. 97 lost at Dallas. That means Cowboys lost, doesn't it, Terry?
Yes.
Cowboys. So Panthers won
First
in
two.
97 at Dallas. That year, or I don't know. What order do you got this in? Jeez, that's not right. October of 98, Cowboys won in Dallas. That was Quincy Carter, wasn't it?
98. Was it?
Or was it? He was 2003. Sorry, 98 was not Quincy Carter. That was Troy Aikman. 98 was Troy Aikman. 2000, Cowboys won in overtime in Carolina. 2002, Cowboys won 14-13 in Dallas. That might have been the Quincy Carter. No, or was Quincy the 24-20 game? Anyway, Quincy Carter beat him one time. That's sad. 24-20 Cowboys won in Dallas in 2003. That was Super Bowl year, wasn't it? 2004, Cowboys lost in Carolina 29-10. And then the Cowboys won 5 straight, 4 out of 5 in Carolina from 2005 to 2012. 2015, Cowboys lost at Dallas. Total points scored, Dallas by 9. Cowboys 9-4 all time against the Carolina Panthers, but the Panthers have won the playoff games. Is the key.
Dallas is 4-2 at home at AT&T and 5-2 down here in Charlotte.
All right, folks, we've got to take a quick break. It's the end of the show. We're going to come back for one segment for about 30 seconds, maybe a minute, and tell you the Braves what's upcoming this week in MLB standings. Sorry we got into Week 1 football too much. We'll be right back. KDC Broadcast.
They've got them all. At Renato Auto Mall in Shelby, they've got Fords, Chevrolets, Buicks, Toyotas, Nissans, Hondas, Kias, GMC trucks, and more. What are we talking about? We're talking about the huge used car selection at Renato Auto Mall. Before you buy, come see Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And they are now your SUV headquarters. Over 50 to choose from, new and used. All makes, all models, and 10 to choose from, priced at under $10,000 at Renato Auto Mall. 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com. Has your old heating and air conditioning system been giving you some trouble? Well, have no fear. Bill Shuford Heating and Air Conditioning is here. Bill Shuford Heating and Air services all makes and models. Just call 704-484-0025. Bill Shuford Heating and Air has been Cleveland County's leader in home comfort since 1983. Featuring American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning Systems. Visit them online at BillShufordHVAC.com. Bill Shuford Heating and Air, 213 Campbell Street in Shelby. The summer sales event is underway at Elliott Supply Company in Polkville. Come see the new Husqvarna zero-turn mowers. Get 0% financing for 48 months. Well-qualified buyers may be eligible. And that's not all. See the Patriot zero-turn mower by Skag. Now sell priced at $6,099. Plus get 0% financing for 48 months. Don't miss the summer sales event at Elliott Supply Company, Highway 182 North in Polkville. Call 704-538-8661. At Standridge Auto Parts in Shelby, you'll find a variety of domestic and foreign used auto and truck parts. They can even ship your part right to your front door. Shop their eBay store with over 10,000 parts and ask about their Interstate Battery Special for just $45 with your exchange. That's right, only $45 with your exchange. Visit the website for more information at StandridgeAuto.com. Standridge Auto Parts, 1521 Sulphur Springs Road in Shelby, serving this area since 1972.
There you go, Ann. Your new account is now open. Just one more little thing.
Here's your card.
What was that?
It's my new bank. Every time I turn around, I get hit with another fee.
You need to get an account at Carolina Federal Credit Union.
She's right.
Tired of getting hit by bank fees? Switch to Carolina Federal Credit Union today. Make those pains go away.
Here's your receipt.
Carpenter Porter Funeral and Cremation Services in Cherryville is there for you in your time of need. They're a progressive and comprehensive funeral service provider, promoting the highest ethical and professional standards while maintaining cost-effective service. Funeral directors John Porter and Hannah Garrett are there to help you and give you guidance during one of life's most difficult times. For more information, call 704-435-6711. Located at 1100 East Main Street in Cherryville and online at carpentersfuneralhome.net, a member of the National Funeral Directors Association.
Carolina.
Check the mic. Terry, you got some rhymes for us this morning?
I have no rhymes.
No rhymes for us.
Good.
Not even nursery rhymes?
Not even nursery
Mother
rhymes.
Hubbard? Nothing? Humpty Dumpty?
No.
No. All right. We're in overtime right now. Real quick, we want to talk about NASCAR today. We've got some racing on the schedule for tomorrow at the Brickyard. JP, get the schedules ready in there so you can go over everything. Well, we want times and everything too. Just hold your horses for a sec. They're winding down to the playoffs this week. They're going to the Brickyard to get to the playoffs. Jimmy Johnson sitting at 14, Bowman 15, Stenhouse 16, Newman 17, Austin Dillon 18. So there's the people trying to get in there. Real quick, JP, look at the schedule today and tomorrow for on our. Just go over everything real quick. 9-8-9-9.
Okay, tonight we have North Carolina, East Carolina at 2:30 p.m. Clemson at Texas A&M at 6 p.m. Atlanta Braves at Arizona at 7:55. Tomorrow we have Brickyard 400 at 1 p.m. and Dallas Cowboys at the Carolina Panthers at 3:30 p.m.
There you go. So we got all kinds of sports this weekend on KTC. Real quick, Major League and Wild Card standings. Wild Card standings, Brewers and Cardinals are in right now. In the National League, Cardinals in the second spot now after having a 5-5 week, bad week, 5-5. Dodgers are 1 game out. Diamondbacks 2. Phillies 3.5 out of the wild card. The wild card in the American League is pretty much done. The whole American League is almost done. Yankees 3.5 up on the A's. They're both in right now, and the A's are almost 7 games ahead over the Mariners, who are next closest. So it's so hard not to call them AFC and NFC after talking about football the whole time. The National League and the American League. Indians in first, Astros in first, Red Sox in first. National League, Braves up by 2.5. Cubs up by 4, and the Rockies up by a half game over one team, the Dodgers, and a 1.5 over Diamondbacks. Thank you for the American League West for giving us a playoff race. Braves holding on like a hair on a biscuit. Carson, are they going to finish it out?
I think the best thing that's happened to the Braves this week is the Phillies being awful, because the Braves have not had a good week, but thankfully Washington has given up, and the Phillies are just, I mean, they've played just as bad as the Braves over the past about 10 games, so that's helped even things out.
Well, Carson, the whole division's like that. Atlanta was 3-7, Philadelphia 4-6, Washington 4-6. The Mets were 5-5, and the Marlins 3-7. So the whole division was terrible.
All right, guys, we got to go. It's been a fun day here on Campers In Saturday Sports Talk. Hunter and Yancey, Redskins this year. I had them at 8-8.
8-8-9-7.
Carson, Rams, where you got them? I had them 11-5, I think.
That sounds about right. I'm all right with that.
Washington's whole season to be over for October.
Terry, I had Cowboys 7-9. I think you had them 16-0, right?
You know, Terry, it's pretty simple. We're talking about Washington Redskins.
No, I just said Cowboys. I had them at 7-9. You had them at 16-0, right?
No, the Cowboys will be at the worst 12-4.
Jeez.
Good Lord.
We got to go. We got to. Terry, please avoid all traffic stops between now and somebody smells your breath. You're done. Terry's been drinking. All right, we'll be back next week on Campers In Saturday Sports Talk, KTCBroadcasting.com.
Quitting time. Who says it's quitting time? I said it's quitting time. I was the foreman. I was the one says when it's quitting time at Terra. Quitting time! Quitting time!
Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM. WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
We may see a few pockets of low clouds or fog early on today. Otherwise, it looks like we'll start the weekend partly sunny and continued humid. We do have a chance of some showers or thunderstorms, mainly in the afternoon. We'll look for highs around 85 to 90. Tonight will be partly to mostly cloudy. You may see a passing thunder shower or two with lows in the mid-60s to around 70. Then on Sunday, a mix of clouds and sun, some scattered showers and storms, and a little cooler, especially in the north. Highs upper 70s north to upper 80s south. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Currently at the Big O Country Studios, it's
10, 12.
These old boots still got a lot of